This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby, yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. you can rely on essential moving experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, I'm sure my guests, or not guests, my neighbors here in the hotel probably did not like that part. But anyway, good morning. Hope you all are doing well. We are rocking and rolling from beautiful North Carolina. Sounds good? Everything good? Are we kosher? Or are we set? Okay. And please don't remind me about my bags. I am the Benicio del Toro of broadcasting. You got to understand that. Okay. That comes with the territory. It's just the way it is. So just in case, because I know I'm going to get hey, are you feeling all right? You got some bags. Yeah, well, don't worry about it, bro. I've always got Samsonites. But anyway, we are in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina. Not that I saw much of it yesterday because I pulled in, at 10 o'clock at night. And by the time I, got into the room and everything, God, I think I got my food like around midnight because I hadn't eaten anything since breakfast. So I was starving my ass off, man. So finally got something in, and I was able to get a little breakfast too. So we are set. We are ready to go. We are in Raleigh, and it's funny because not everybody listens to the show, and there's a lot of people that just listen to the segment or something. They just want to catch a Marcel or a Poupart or a Matt Verderam segment or Michelle Kaufman who's coming on today or whatever. And that's what they do, or they get a rant from me that, Sean puts up or something. Those of you that listen to the show and then you get all the ins and outs of the show and everything we talk about and, and having fun and sometimes slamming some fools that come on and those kind of things, you get to see all of those things. But the other people really, like they see I'm in Raleigh. What comes to the first thing they're thinking of? Oh, dude, you're going to the Panthers game. That's awesome. Good for you. I'm like, no, I'm here for a concert. It's fun. One guy was insulted. Are you kidding me? You're traveling up there for a concert when the Panthers are playing. And then I go to him, so why aren't you here? Well, I can't afford to be there, but apparently you can afford to be there. Dude, let me tell you something. what's it called? A crowded house ticket. It's probably a hell of a lot cheaper than that Panthers Hurricanes ticket here in this town, where they've been wanting the Hurricanes to, they've been like knocking on the door. They've been one of the better teams, so I would imagine that it's a lot of money to go to that. But anyway, it's funny. One guy was really bothered by it. It's like, I'm like, brother, relax, man. I'm here for a concert. If you don't follow me, music is another one of my passions. So I will get to meet the famous Pat in Asheville today too. So that is cool. So Pat in Asheville and I will be hanging out at several concerts over the next few months, because tonight we'll hang out for Crowded House. The next month we're going to hang out for The Cure for a couple of nights in Atlanta. We'll be in Atlanta next month for The Cure for both nights. So anybody that's out there. And by the way, if you're coming to, because I don't know if you guys really are coming, because there was one gentleman that is going to drive an hour and a half to come over. I get off at 1:00. The show will be done at 1. I'm at the Cambria Hotel and Suites, 300 Airgate Drive, I think it is. That's the address. So if you happen to live or work in the area, you got my Twitter page, Big O Show. You got my Instagram, Big O Radio Show. You can DM me if you're coming over to the hotel to visit. I will be leaving this hotel, I would imagine, around 5, 6 o'clock or something like that. Although Pat told me something about traffic, or so, I don't know. So I don't know how bad the traffic is from here to where am I going? It's called the Carolina Theater in Durham, North Carolina. So I don't know. It's like a 19, 20-minute drive or something like that. So I am doing that. Big O got an Uber no, I didn't. I just got Uber Eats to deliver the Chick-fil-A, bro. Come on, And then I got my water delivered. Although I couldn't get Fiji, I had to get Smart Water. So Smart Water is the water of choice today. That's usually my backup. If I can't get Fiji, I will get Smart Water because it's not bad. Smart Water is good. I enjoy Smart Water. Fiji's my favorite. Some people will tell you, I don't taste the difference. And I will tell you, yeah, I taste the difference. I was going to order water from Chick-fil-A, and that way I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I wouldn't have to make another Uber order, because where I'm at here, there are no stores. No, I can't walk anywhere. It's just like it's like an area that is just like other hotels and trees. That's all I can see at night that there was there. So, what's it called? They have Dasani on Chick-fil-A. I have a rule, and Dasani water is just one of those that no. Aquafina and Dasani are 2 waters I will not touch. I mean, I know where their spring is. It's the Hialeah Water Factory right off of Okeechobee Road. That's where they make Dasani and Aquafina. Like, oh yeah, these are springs. No, dude, it's the Hialeah water plant where you're getting your water from. No, I'm not drinking Aquafina or Dasani. Oh, God, there is a difference, trust me. But anyway, so far so good. Smooth trip. It was. I got to tell you, man. It getting laid. Awesome, right? I've never become rich, but I would imagine if you win the lottery or become rich, that's a hell of a feeling, right? A promotion at work, I guess you should get really pumped up about that, right? A raise. There are certain things in life that you get excited about. The birth of your child, right? I mean, you get excited about that. I was excited about my wedding. I know a lot of guys that were really nervous. I was really excited. But overall, there are moments to get excited, right? Your team wins the championship. Like when the Dolphins win the Super Bowl this year, we're going to be excited, right? The Heat win the title, we'll be excited. The Panthers win the Stanley Cup, we're going to be excited. So
You know, there are moments in life when you get excited. Well, last night was one of those moments for me because it was a big, 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 big moment last night. I sit down in the plane, flew Delta, by the way, from Miami. And when I sit down, you know, a girl sits on the aisle seat. I always get the window seat. Okay. So the plane door closes, and I look to my left, and that girl is still there in the aisle seat. And I look to my left again, and there was nobody in the middle seat. And you know what comes after that? You lift the left armrest, open up them legs. Yeah, stretch. And it was beautiful. Oh, God, that was awesome. Smooth flight. You know, that was beautiful, man. That was absolutely beautiful last night. And then it set up even better. You know, it's kind of like when you go buy something, when you see a commercial on television to buy something, and then they tell you, wait, there's more. So it's an hour and 40-minute flight. Look how perfect this flight was. So nobody's sitting in our middle seat. I'm relaxing. I got my headphones on. I'm jamming. Crowded house, actually. I was listening to their entire set list that they've played so far. And just chilling. And so I take a glance. I look behind me. And I have somebody sitting in the seat right behind me. But in that aisle, the middle seat and the aisle seat are empty. So I always bring a pillow and a cover, right? A travel blanket. And so that way I chill for whatever time I'm in the plane. I'm just listening to music, fading back and trying to get some shut eye if I can. So I figure, all right, I'll listen to, some music for a little over an hour. And then I'll get up and go to the bathroom and stretch my legs because I always like to stretch my legs in the plane at least once during the flight. So I said, this is the best. So what I did was I waited about an hour and 10 minutes into the flight, right? So now we're about 30 minutes away from landing. I get up calmly, boom. I take my pillow and my cover with me. Girl moves out of the way. I go to the bathroom, but I leave the pillow and the cover on the seat behind her because it was empty, the aisle seat. So when I'm done in the bathroom, I come back and I sit in the aisle seat behind her for the last couple of minutes, watch the Lakers and Denver game. I go up on my bag, I put away my blanket and my pillow, and then that's it. The plane docks, and I'm in my aisle seat instead of being in the window seat waiting for everybody else. And I'm ready to go, man. I mean, it was just like everything was timed perfectly. Everything was set perfectly. And I was expecting kind of a tight flight because she was telling everybody, oh, please, let's do everything, as smooth as possible because we got a pretty full flight. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. I hate when I hear a pretty full flight because then that means every seat's going to be taken. And then when that didn't happen, that the middle seat wasn't taken, and then I saw the seat behind me on the aisle wasn't taken. I was like, this is just, I get to have the best of both worlds. I hang out, and then I get ready for the quicker exit out. It's a beautiful thing. I tell you, life is good. Life is good. And today we'll watch Neil and Tim Finn, the Finn brothers, get it done and jam. We've got the Leaning Tower of Pisa here. And get it done, and we'll have some fun. I'm looking forward to it. And plus, Pat in Asheville gave me some great news. So we scored tickets for the 9th now. So December 8th and 9th, we'll be in Vegas to see U2 in the Sphere, both nights. Switched it over from September because we couldn't get some for the 30th, right before my birthday. But the problem is that the day of my birthday, we also play the Bills. So I got to get back here to do the Bills. But this is beautiful. I get to go see U2 on December 8th and 9th in Las Vegas in the Sphere. That's Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I get to fly back, right? And Monday night, the Dolphins play and kick Ryan Tannehill's ass in Tennessee. Although, will Tannehill be even starting by that time? I don't know about that. I don't know. Let me see something. No wonder. I thought there was some TV sound in the background. Oh, there it is. That too. Okay. All right. There we go. I knew I was hearing something. I don't know if you guys were hearing any TV stuff in the background. So far, my flight has, I mean, could it get any better than that? Can I plan it any better than that? I don't think so. I don't think so. So now we are set. We got a lot of things to talk about. We got the Heat and the Celtics tonight, 8 o'clock, 8:30, that is, on TNT. I guess I'm going to have to watch it a little bit on delay when I get back to the hotel room, although I'm sure I'll be keeping up with it, at the show. We got Matt Verderame joining us at 11. We've got we got Michelle Kaufman at 11:30 and Omar Kelly at noon. So we'll have some fun, and we'll take Omar Kelly to task for his 9-8 crap prediction that he had out there in the paper, which makes no sense. So they're going to win the same amount of games. If they're healthy, they added Vic Fangio and Jalen Ramsey. And everybody on offense is in their second year in the offense. And McDaniel's in the second year. And they're going to win the same amount of games that they won last year. I got to hear Omar Kelly's weak-ass explanation on that. So we'll do that at noon, and we'll see what he's got to say about that, because that makes zero sense. Seriously, zero sense. Again, he is jaded from the past and is already judging stuff without it even developing. Jamie Zorria, all the way in San Jose, number 1, baby, in the chat board. John Padilla is in. Gus 1388. That's right, baby. We're in the Carolinas. John Padilla, beautiful day in the Bay Area. Jay Gelfin is in the house. He says the heat is on. Poochie is asking over under 2 of 30 touchdowns. My wish is 40 and beyond. Over 30. It will have over 35, I say. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to North Carolina, Big O. Of course, you are on the other side of the state from me, LOL. Enjoy the concert. Thank you, my friend. I guess you're out in the coast. Let's see. Let's go Nuggets. Morning, Big O. Sean, Fins Nation from Two a Time. King Short is in. Terry Lynch. Herman Cueva. GP Trap. He's checking in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's see. Ray Sosa. Thank you, Herman, for the nice comment. Appreciate it. Steve Chapman, he says, glad you made it safely. Nervous about this series, even though the Celtics are a better team. Butler has more dog in him than all the Celtics combined. Yeah, Miami's got a shot. The Celtics should win this series, okay? And, gun to head, you asked me to pick. I told you Celtics is 7. The Celtics should win this series. They should. But what, the Heat have no shot? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. The Heat are, Jimmy's a tough sumbitch, and he'll lead those guys, and they will put in one hell of an effort. And the best coach in the NBA is on the Miami Heat side. You know what I'm saying? So Miami's got a shot. I'm not going to sit here, oh, my God, I'm shocked they beat the Celtics. No, I'm not shocked. And I'll be pleasantly, surprised. Okay, but I'm not going to sit here and be shocked. The Celtics this isn't the Bulls, dude. You know what I'm saying? This isn't something that's insurmountable. This isn't like when the Warriors were rolling. This isn't when San Antonio was rolling. This isn't the big 3 with the Heat. This isn't that kind of team. The Celtics are the best team in the Eastern Conference, but the best team in the Eastern Conference isn't what we look at like some of those teams that I talked about in the past that are just legendary teams in the history of the NBA. The C's are far from that. They're trying to see if they can get to that point. We'll see. But Miami has every opportunity to beat them. You know, Jimmy plays like Jimmy does in the playoffs, and everyone else takes their turns in supporting him, they'll be fine. If the role players don't step up and support him from night in and night out, it's got to be Bam and Caleb one night, and it's got to be Gabe and Lowry another night. But you're going to need a couple of those guys every night to step up. So it's up to them. We'll find out. Nyborg is in. King Short says, unfortunately, you're a couple of hours away from Stubby Oaks, North Carolina, Big O. Hopefully I can see you another time. Let's hope so, King Short. Look forward to it, my brother. Gus 1388 says, loud and clear. Thank you, sir. Kyle Cockrell is in. Urban Posse says, good morning from Arizona. Lisa Rose is in. Terry Lynch. Nizzle. Francisco Ghazi says, the Omar Kelly segment is always gold. It's because Omar is gold. Travis AM. Nizzle. We hotel streaming today. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Mike Honcho in. Steven Gonzalez. Brett Dodger. Knight. Big O found out Isaiah Wynn and I grew up in the same city. There you go. All right. Strafasi is in. Omar Lopez. Top Dragon TV. Buenos dias, Orlando. Saludos desde Mexico. I was going to go to Mexico next year, but now we're going to Seattle instead to go see Metallica. I don't know if I told you guys, we got our tickets refunded from Mexico City for Metallica in 2024. We're now going to Seattle instead. So I didn't want to get kidnapped, you know. Not that they're going to make any money off me. Oh, God. Can you imagine those guys? I would die like right away in Mexico, right? Because they would call home and say, we need this. And then my wife is like laughing 2,000 miles away going, you need what? No, dude, why don't you give me money to pay some bills? That's what my wife is going to tell them. And then they're going to go, huh? Mata este hijo de puta. And that's it. I'm done. So, yeah. I would be dead within minutes. It's like, bro, this is a work. You kidnapped a working stiff. Oh, the wife's gonna make you do extra chores when you get home, brother. My wife is the best. She just, she met me like this. Like I was always traveling for sports and music, so she kind of understood what she married. You know what I'm saying? She's not and she wasn't changing me. You know what I mean? We were together 6.5 years before we got married. So that's why it's, and that would be my biggest suggestion to anybody out there. Before you get married, man, be together for a long time. And that way you get to know each other and their habits and all that kind of stuff. Because I've seen the person that tries to change the other person when they get married. You've seen that, right? So there you go. Matthew Owen says, what are you doing in Raleigh? I think by now you know what I'm doing in Raleigh. Let's see. Willie is in the house in Colombia. Says, I'm laying in bed about to shower and get ready for work, doing the Dexter wiggle to the Al Hudson push song. Hunter Butler, Desani, DeSantis, same garbage. Oh, man. Let's see. Frankie Fresco in the house. Here we go. They were both rocking yesterday wrestling. AEW Ricky Starks or Jay White? Okay. Ricky Starks or Jay White? Well, see, the problem with that is Jay White. Yeah, it's kind of a lame name. It's kind of, very average, just Jay and White. Ricky Starks really sounds like a wrestler. He sounds like a badass. Now, if he's related to Randy Starks, former defensive tackle of the Miami Dolphins, then I know that Ricky Starks is an incredible badass. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Sean, what are you going to tell me?
Real quick, before it's Switchblade Jay White. Just so you know, I mean, it's not just Jay White, it's Switchblade Jay White.
You see how plain the name is? That it needed a weapon. It needed a switchblade. Word has it that John Moran is changing his name to Jaw Pistol, but I'm not sure. We'll see. He wants to have a little bit more of an edge to his name. Too soon? Anyway, so Ricky Starks versus Jay White. See, the fact that he needed Switchblade, does Ricky Starks have a nickname? Sean? Anyone? Bueller? Does Ricky Starks have you? See, you're probably even looking it up. See what I mean? He doesn't even have a nickname. Because Randy Starks didn't need a nickname. Randy Starks was just going to get after you and bust you in the ass and put you down, baby. So I'm going to go with Ricky Starks, switching it up on Jay White and his little blade and crushing him in AEW Wednesday. Have a root beer on that. So what am I getting? A thumbs up, thumbs down for Ricky Starks? Well, I'm getting a thumbs up and a sideways thumb. Okay. Not exactly sure what that stands for, but okay. All right.
It's AEW, so you're probably right. I would put Jay White over because he's the newer guy, but hey, Starkman Jones might win it.
Okay. That's his name, Starkman Jones?
That's what his Twitter bio says. I was trying to find out what I don't remember him ever saying anything about Ricky Starks, but his Twitter bio is Starkman Jones.
Well, see, Ricky doesn't even need a switchblade name. Give me a break. Tell you. That's some weak stuff. Frankie, thank you for the love on the super chat. That's very nice of you, sir. Nothing is better than having a plane to yourself. It kind of felt like that yesterday. That like everything was set up for me yesterday. It was great. Spurs coach Popovich, lucky franchise, keep landing. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. It's amazing. I'll get into that, Giovanni. Too Extreme, Brian Landis, Beppo in Shang 2. Do you smoke weed, Big O? Tons. We're smoking tons right now as we speak. We are smoking tons, baby. Let's see. Brady Jackson. Good morning, Big O. How is Raleigh treating you this fine morning? Beautiful. I got my Chick-fil-A. I got my water. We're doing the show. I can't complain. Sean is feeling better. He's on the road to full recovery. Life is good, man. Life is good. Jamesville, he had us losing every single game against a good team. LOL. Oh, you talk about Omar? He's so negative, bro. It's amazing. It really is. Chad is in, part of the big old army there, he says. Thank you. Don't forget, folks, smash the hell out of the like button. Very important. Robbie Redford says, welcome from Holden Beach, North Carolina, Big O. Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate it. Beautiful state. Joker, 11 minutes, 11 rebounds, and 8 points, 2 assists, triple-double machine. Joker's, he's an amazing player, dude. Awesome player, man. He really is. Chris Wilson Fishing says, hit that like button. Amen to that. Play Action 7 is in. Love it. Big O, your vibe is colossal. Thank you, Willie. That is very nice of you. Appreciate you. Emilio Hernandez says, hello from Houston, Texas. Fins up 15. Big O, North Carolina to go save the ACC. I just want to save UM. That's it. I only worry about UM, but they're screwed. That whole deal, they can't get out of that deal. They can't get out. It's too much money. Dan is in. Ragin is in. Robert Lund is in the Hotel Carolina. Knight says, Shang To Shang, being from his hometown, I wouldn't be surprised he went to Lakewood, which is a score school. Okay. Nick says, buying cheap cigarettes. I don't know what that means. Karen says, know the person for a period of time before getting married. I'm learning that lesson the hard way, unfortunately. Yes. I'm sorry about that, Karen. Really am. But that would be my only suggestion, because once, like, after 6.5 years, we knew each other well. Like, all our habits, things we like. And by 6.5 years, I'm not telling you to take 6.5 years. That's a lot of time. But and by the way, let me put context to everything. My wife and I met in junior college. We met at Miami-Dade College, Miami-Dade South. So we waited to get through school. We waited for both of us to start our careers. So once we were earning money, then we would get married. Because one of the things that I had, and one of the things that I saw with people in average, is that money destroys relationships. You sometimes years later, you find out, you realize in your heart, you always love the person and you will always love that person. Maybe that will always be your love, but you had the money issues and the problems, and then that created all kinds of divide and all that, and it ruined your relationship. And I told my wife this, I said, we can't get married, until we are leveled, until you're making money, until I'm making money. So that way, when we start, we're not worried about money. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to have a relationship in this world as it is. You can't have money be a part of it. It cannot be a factor in your relationship. You know what I mean? And if it is, well, then, this is where the love steps in, and both of you have to just get to it and fight it and get through it. But it just doesn't happen with some couples. They crumble, And then the other thing that we did, by the way, which would be my other suggestion, don't just have kids to have kids, dude. Have kids that you can afford. And that's the other thing. We had our daughter, and we shut down the factory. Not that she got snipped or I got snipped. Actually, we don't. We both are still in the, not that we would do it at this age. But what I'm saying is we consciously decided, like, you know what? We got one kid. We can give this one kid, because both of us have careers. We can give this one kid anything and everything she needs. But then, because I've had friends that have had a second and third kid, and then I see the guy struggling. I see the woman struggling, and then they've got to have multiple jobs, and their lives are upside down and all that. And it's like, you can't do that, man. You got to have resources to have kids. You got to have resources to get married. So to me, that's kind of the way we pace this whole thing. So that's why we took 6.5 years to get married. We took, I think, like another 6 years before we had the child. We didn't have the child right away. We wanted to establish everything, house, all. Again, money cannot be the issue. You know what I'm saying? Just cannot. It's hard enough to get by every day. You just can't do that. So that was kind of, let me put context to everything and why we did what we did. We were pretty methodical about the way we did it. Big O, no hot dog from Dairy Queen. No, Lewis. No, none. Eric is in. Good morning, and he's Go Heat. Corn, Iowa Productions. It should be white, but I bet they go with Starks. Don't bet against me. That's what it is. Armando Swaim says, headed to see the Big O today. Nice. So you are coming. Excellent. You got my DM. So if you're on Twitter or Instagram, send me a DM that you're downstairs, and I'll go downstairs and meet you guys in the lobby. Okay? Brady, I think the lottery was rigged. No, dude, it's not rigged, bro. Nobody's helping out the Spurs, bro. They're not helping the Spurs. They're not helping the Magic. They're not helping Sacramento. They're not helping Miami. They're not helping. Could they help New York? Could they help LA? Yeah, I can believe that one. But they're not helping San Antonio, dude. No, no, not at all. Not at all. Bradley says Miami Dolphins are winning the damn Super Bowl this year. I'm with you, Bradley. We got to get a house in Vegas so we can celebrate. Where are you, Big O? I'm late to the channel. We are in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm going to the Crowded House show tonight. I'm here for a concert. Let's see. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. Too extreme. Born on this day and age, if there's no money, there's no relationship. The sad and pathetic truth in today's world. It just puts a strain on relationships, money, because we need it so badly, you know. Two at times says, my wife and I did the same thing, Big O. We have one kid and run all over. I'm not sure how people have multiple kids and do it. I mean, they are awesome. People that have multiple kids, God bless you. God bless you. You people are superhuman. Those parents that like stay together and have multiple kids, you people are superhuman, man. And you got more money than I do, that's for sure. Stetson O is in. Chris Ortiz says our Finns running the ball more often this season is enough to believe we can be a 12-win team. 13. We're gonna honor Dan Marino this year and get 13 wins. Okay. Really, the target was 54, but there's a problem. They don't play 54 games. So I talked to the NFL if they can make a 54-game schedule so we can go undefeated 54-0, celebrate Zach Thomas, but they said, no, we're going to stick to 17. I go, all right, well, we'll do 13. So 13-4 this year. I hope you guys, I'm sorry, I wanted 54 straight wins, but they didn't allow me to rig it. Chad says, my wife and I got married after 6 years, except we had kids. One is 3 and the other is 9 months. It's chaos every day here. You're a beast, bro. You're a beast. Rosendo says, safe travels, and may Wednesday morning bring you halfway through the week. May you be blessed with happiness and success this day. Thank you, Rosendo. Appreciate it. Oh, man. Per Charles Barkley, they are not helping all those big old women in San Antonio. LOL. Josh is in. Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says Greer needs to sign Dan for one day to get that ring. By the way, that's actually funny, right? You sign him like you get to the Super Bowl, right? And you sign him. I don't even know if that's legal anymore at that point when you're in the Super Bowl. I doubt you can sign anybody. So maybe right before the playoffs, you sign Dan to a 1-month contract or something. And so he's just like the backup, like the third quarterback hanging out on the team. And then he gets a ring throughout the whole thing. Yeah, well, why not? Problem is you're not going to be able to keep him on the sideline. Even at that age, he'll be, straining out his pants, licking up his fingers going, come on, Mike, I need to get in there. You know what I'm saying? So it would be hard to, you can't, that dude can't put on a uniform and then just, I'm not going to do anything. Not his style. Not his style. God, that guy was special. Man, he was special. Jesus, Dan Marino was special. Anyway. Chad says, thanks. Oh, I'm told I'm a super dad all the time. I work at home while watching them. Definitely hard times, but wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world. Yeah, it's amazing. And you are amazing, sir. No doubt about that. All right, so we got the Heat and the Celtics tonight at 8:30 on TNT. Celtics are favored by 8. I kind of like the Heat in this one. This is a really fresh Jimmy Butler. They've had a lot of time to rest. The Heat can play this team tough. I would take the 8 here in this one. I don't think the Heat are going to get blown out. I think the Heat are going to make this one hell of a game tonight. Okay, and by the way, again, for the Tyler stuff, they haven't said it, but he's not dribbling or shooting or anything right now. There's no way he plays in this series. Because if he's not even dribbling or shooting, it would take him a few weeks to get into shape. And believe it or not, that hand's going to have to be tested. And, it's not worth it at this point in time. You know what I mean? Maybe for the finals. If somehow or another they survive this series, which would be amazing, maybe. But I don't think you'll get anything out of Tyler in this series. Last night, by the way, the Nuggets defeated the Lakers 132-126. Jokic is just ridiculous. 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists, 2 blocks. The Lakers made a run. AD played out of his mind. He played like what you're supposed to when you're a superstar. This is when you're a franchise player, right? This is what you are supposed to do. And the question is, can AD do this every night? Can his body hold up? Will he bring that kind of a fire? Because that's not who he is. LeBron's going to play hard and run right through you like a Mack truck because that's how he's wired. But with AD, you just don't know. But when you get that AD along with LeBron and then everybody else chipping in, Hachimura, the other kid that they got now that's hitting those threes and stuff, that they got guys that can help out now on that team. But when you have your 2 superstars playing at a high level, this is why they cut it to 3, I think it was last night, right? When I was watching it here in the hotel, I think they cut it down to 3 at one point. And I know LeBron had a brutal turnover at the end there that Jokic ended up stealing. But, dude, when Porter is playing 15, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, Caldwell Pope, former Laker, by the way, getting a little revenge, going 3 of 8 from three-point range with 21 points. Emmer, Bruce Brown, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. To me, Denver clearly is the better team. The Lakers are not supposed to win this. And listen, I'm pulling for the Lakers. Yeah, I'm pulling. Not that I'm pulling ever for LeBron because I'm not a LeBron guy. After what he did to Riley, I'll never support that guy ever again. I'll respect his game and all that stuff, but the person, I want nothing to do with it. But this guy is an amazing player, and he'll never stop. He'll never quit. It's all about AD. And if you're a Heat fan, you want him to win because if somehow Miami survives that Celtics series, they have home court advantage in the NBA Finals. You're going to be an 8th seed and you have home court advantage in the NBA Finals. That would be freaking amazing. So last night was awesome. LeBron, obviously 26, 12, and 9, almost a triple-double. But you get that Anthony Davis, you got a shot, man. You got a shot. Question is, can he last? Can he play like that? And that's the problem with AD. I think AD inside knows, deep down inside knows that he can't play like this every night because he'll break down eventually. Every time he falls or whatever, you're like, is he going to get up? Every single time. Anyway, so got that going on. Spurs win the lottery again. My Lord. Have the Heat ever won the lottery? No. The best they did was number 2, and they ended up with Michael freaking Beasley, dude. You asked me if I'm smoking a lot of weed here? No, but Michael Beasley is. Lots and lots. Jesus Christ, dude. Popovich wins it with David Robinson. Then David gets injured. They have a shitty year because he got injured. They end up with the number 1 pick again, and they go with Tim, and they get it Tim Duncan. And now Wembayana, right? Is that how it's pronounced? Wembayana or Wembayama? Wembayama. And I don't know how good this kid is. He's 7+, whatever, can handle, can shoot, all that stuff. He is playing in Europe. I don't know. I mean, I watched him Duncan. We all watched, well, not some of you too young, but we watched him Duncan. We watched David Robinson. We saw how good they were. And they were playing more in an era where college basketball was more, elite than the crap that we have nowadays in college basketball. It is just incredibly weak compared to what's been, in the past. But wow, the Spurs get lucky again, dude. It makes me sick to my stomach that a franchise like that, nothing wrong with the franchise itself, but that one franchise can be, it's like the Magic. At least I'll give the Spurs credit. They, in the past, they've won the lottery and they've made it count by winning championships. Whereas the Orlando Magic can win the lottery and they never do anything with the lottery. Sure, they got to the finals one year, but they could never keep their players. They can never build a consistent winner. It's a disaster of a franchise. And yet they've been lucky over and over again to win the lottery. That's why it's not fixed. That's why the silly person that put in the thing about San Antonio, it's pure stupidity. Because they don't benefit from sending the best player in the draft to a small market. Chances are it's a team that's mismanaged. So you don't do any good sending, whatever, Anthony Davis to New Orleans when New Orleans is not a big market. They don't support the team there. It's been mismanaged. I know they're better now, but not when AD got drafted. You know what I mean? So they don't want to help New Orleans or Orlando or San Antonio. They're not interested in any of that. You can tell it's legit because they ended up in those places. The last thing the league wants actually is for their best young players in the draft to end up in a bad situation because you'll never showcase the kid. Look, Orlando's got that kid and he's awesome, Banchero, and they did nothing. Would they win this year, Sean? Would they win 34 games, 32 games or something, Orlando? You end up getting the best player in the draft and you do nothing with it. And this happens all the time with certain teams. 43, really?
You picked me up late. 34. You were right.
34. Okay. I was going to go 43. Wait a minute. Well, what did I miss? And you know what I mean? It's always, the future. There's no future with Orlando. They can lie to you all you want going into the Amway Center every night. Completely mismanaged, franchise. So when you see Yama end up in San Antonio, or you see Banchero end up in Orlando, it ain't rigged, bro. There's no rig there. There's no rig whatsoever. Now let's see if Pops can get back to being an elite coach again. Can't say I haven't been impressed. Can't see, at least with Spo, I'm super impressed with non-Hall of Famers on his team. Are you impressed with Popovich with non-Hall of Famers? Yeah, I didn't think so. Just got to call it like I see it. What can I tell you? By the way, Cutter's Edge Pro, you see it right there. We love talking about Will or Mike, man. Just absolutely awesome people. 954-472-0622. Tree trimming and removals, synthetic turf, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation, you name it. And I've told you, listen, one of the things that's changed my life, our lives, is the artificial turf. It's a pain in the ass to maintain your grass in your home, with the weeds. Or sometimes it'll get brown. Sometimes there's dry spells, and sometimes it rains too much. And it's really a pain in the ass. And then the dogs go to the backyard, and then they come back in and they bring mud and they bring dirt and they bring grass and they bring all kinds of stuff. And now that I've got the artificial turf, okay, grass looks perfect every day. It never grows, so I never have to cut it, saving money there. I'm not watering it all the time, saving money there. You know what I mean? So over the next few years, it's going to pay off for itself automatically because I'm not cutting the grass every 10 to 14 days like we have to in South Florida. You know what I'm saying? And then the best part, the dogs go out, they do their business, they come back in, not a speck of dirt, never any mud because it doesn't exist. And even when I go outside and come back in, I don't have to hear it from the wife. I just clean the floors with the dogs. What are you? Come on. Never have to worry about that. It's a beautiful thing, and it always looks perfect. It's a great combination because the dogs can do their business, really easy to maintain. And then we have all of the landscaping after that. That's all real. All the trees, all the bushes, all the flowers, all of that is real. But it's a great combination, man, where you have the real creating, shade and creating a better atmosphere for your backyard, and then the grass creating peace of mind for you. So check it out. Call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. They've got over 70 trucks. They're all over South Florida. You've seen their logo. You've seen their trucks. Call them, folks. Ask for William or Mike. Tell them that Big O sent you. 954-472-0622. CuttersEdgePro.com. And go to their Instagram page. You'll see a lot of their work there at Cutter's Edge. Check it out. We got a little victory cigar action from last night, Sean Stanley. Let's give the Miami Marlins a victory cigar. Congratulations to the Fish. Soler with a 2-run shot in the 9th inning, lifting the Marlins to a 5-4 win over the sorry-ass Nationals. This is a team you should win your games. You got to win the series. If you can, sweep their ass. These are the kind of wins you need. They're back to 500 again. 12 hits for the Fish last night. Reyes is batting .386, had an RBI yesterday, went 2 of 4. Soler hit his 10th home run of the season. Yankees! When you call them? When you calling Yankees? Come on. You know you want Soler. You know you want, and we know the Marlins want prospects. So load it up. Luzardo, by the way, had a good outing. He just didn't get the win. Won 6 innings, 5 home runs, 5 hits, that is. I'm sorry, not home runs. 1 earned run, 7 Ks. Lowered the ERA to 3.16. So good stuff there. Mackenzie Gore taking on Eduardo Cabrera at 6:40 tonight. So victory cigar for the Marlins. By the way, have you seen the Perdomo retail store in the factory right off of 57th Avenue in the Palmetto? That is an experience in itself. You get to go pick any beautiful Perdomo cigar. You can buy anyone there. You can smoke it right there in their cigar store right there. They got this giant humidor outside. They've got this, a lobby with I swear to you, it's a 30-foot couch. I shit you not. Giant TV, pool table. You can hang out. Nick, you'll run into Nick Perdomo when he's in town. You can take a picture. Ask him if they'll give you a tour of the factory. You never know. It's an amazing place, man. So check out the retail store there off of 57th Avenue in the Palmetto for Perdomo cigars. It's buying a great cigar, but then also enjoying the experience of buying a great cigar directly at the factory there in Miami. So check it out off of 57th Avenue in the Palmetto at Perdomo Cigars. All right. What else do we have going on? The moron released the state. Well, somebody released a statement for him, right? I mean, there's no way John Moron wrote that statement that he released yesterday, or his agent released yesterday. Who we kidding? All right, you're listening to NBA Youngboy. You ain't writing that stuff. Let's see. Here we go. Where are we going? So I know you guys are gonna roll your eyes, and you should. But John Moron says, I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me. Moron said in a new statement, this is a journey. And I recognize there's more work to do. My words may not mean much right now. Actually, your words are dog shit. Just want you to know, Ja. Go outside. You see the dog in your neighborhood taking a dump? Those are your words right there coming out of his ass. Your words, John Moron, are equal to the stuff coming out of all dogs' asses right now all over the world. Just so you'll know, my man. You are Robert Downey Jr. right now. Oh, no, I won't do crack. No, I won't do drugs. And there he goes again to go do drugs and more. Now, this isn't a journey, and I recognize there's more work to do. You can tell somebody else wrote that for him. My words may not mean much now, but I take full responsibility for my actions. I'm committed to working on myself. That's, you know what I'd respect more than this? I apologize for being an absolute idiot. I realize what I did was embarrassing, ignorant. It shows poor judgment. It sets a terrible example for kids out there. That's what he should say. Trash himself to the upteenth degree. Make sure you send the message to kids out there, because he's got a large base of people that are following him. And he needs to send the message to those people, please don't be as stupid as I am. It's pretty simple. That you have to be really hard on yourself. This is a journey, and I recognize there is more work to do. This is a complete bullshit statement that was put out by his agent or his lawyer or his mom or his dad or his grandfather or brother. Somebody put this bullshit statement together. And when it comes to taking full accountability, that doesn't sound like anything, because you don't take full accountability, my brother. You've had so many, and it isn't the 2 gun incidents. It's fighting with the valet guy. It's the pickup game that he had a pickup game with some kid that got smart on him, and then he went and got a gun. There's more things to what Jaw's been going through here. And the level of stupidity is way more than just that. And this is why, I'm committed to continuing to work on myself. No, dude, that's a horse shit, line. No, I'm embarrassed. There is no excuse for what I did. It is disgusting what I did. It sets a poor example. It's stupid on my part. I've got to realize that a lot of people are dying all over America, and especially young people, okay, are dying all over America because we are irresponsible with guns. Just one little statement I'd like to make here, because, see, the problem we have is Democrats and Republicans. That's our problem. Okay, we have 2 sides that are both idiotic. Neither one makes any sense. They bicker, they fight, they can't see eye to eye, and there is no more middle ground. But if you want to be honest with yourselves, Americans, period, are we smart enough for all of us to have the right to bear arms? The answer is no. 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 I have guns. But I don't commit any crimes. I don't attack people. I'm a responsible American. I'm not a criminal. I don't have a criminal background. None of that. I don't deal in crimes. I talk sports, hang out with my family, love concerts, buy a little crypto. I don't know what else I do. I mean, that's it. I live a simple life. That's it. I'm not looking for any trouble. I'm not trying to take on any trouble. I'm not holding up any banks, none of that. I don't have a problem if you want to make me take a test for a gun. You want to take my fingerprints for a gun. You want to make me wait 30 days for a gun. I have no problem, dude. I'm not in a hurry. So what's the big deal with anybody out there? And then here's the other one. You want me to go to extreme? Guess what? The other pistol that nobody should be, you should be questioned to handle is the one between your legs. All the wrong people are having kids. We were just talking about that. You see how many stupid ass people are having kids? I got to tell you something. Remember how China used to limit families to one kid and all that? In this country, brother, I'd make you pass financial tests, mental tests, and prove as a couple that you can support a kid before you're allowed to have a kid. Because we got a lot of stupid men walking around using a gun they shouldn't be using. Because they can't support the kid that they produce. They can't love the kid that they produce. In this country, we have a lot of people that are too stupid to use guns. All kinds of guns. The ones you buy in stores and the ones that are attached to your body. If you want to really admit what the hell is going on. Deep down inside, I don't care what side you're on. Okay? So I'd put both of those to a test. You have to pass serious tests before you get to handle those guns. Okay? Not that it would ever happen, the second one, the latter, but I do it in this country because, boy, we got a lot of stupid-ass people having kids. Damn. All right, let's rock and roll. Hour number 2 is next. Matt Verderam steps up to the plate. We go around the NFL with the one and only Matt Verderam from Sports Illustrated.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. following statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Yeah, we are back. Hey, some of you on the chat board, you come up with some stupid ass questions. Dan. Anyway, how you doing, buddy? You doing good?
Doing better than Dan, apparently. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
yeah, it's just people don't stay on subject, and then they like try to go off subject, and then you just got to kind of straighten them out and kind of like, yo, bro, come on, use common sense and use your head. And it was like, whatever, bro. It was coming off the John Moran thing because I was saying that. Because I was saying I don't have a problem in this world where we live in. Okay, I have guns at home, bro. You want to make me take fingerprints? Here you go, bro. You want me to wait 30 days? No problem. You want me to take a gun test? No problem. You want me to take a gun course? Bro, I'm not a criminal.
Right.
I'm not a drug dealer.
Right.
I'm not a murderer. I don't need any of this. Dude, I don't even go hunting. I don't even go. Seriously, I don't even go hunting. I have the gun at home to protect my family. If you break in my house, I'm putting 10 caps in your ass. And that's it. That's all I have it for. Yep. Nothing more, nothing less. So if you need to make me, and so this guy goes, well, what if somebody mentally ill at your house and they don't want to give you the gun? Well, bro, they have locks for guns, you dumbass. That's what I was trying to tell the guy. So if somebody, your kid, your brother, your cousin steals your gun, that's your fault, dude. They have locks.
It's kind of your fault. Yeah.
I have double locks on my. I have the one that's inside the trigger, and then it's inside a fucking safe, bro. So you got to break into the safe, and then you got to break into the lock of the gun in order to use the gun. And let me tell you, you know what's next? When they start making it a little bit more, I'm going to get the one with my fingerprint. So nobody can use it.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get that one because that way I'll put my fingerprint and my wife's fingerprint on, and that's it, baby. Ain't nobody else can use the gun.
See, it's funny. I actually have.
And then my wife will use it to kill me, by the way, but that's all right. That's a whole other story.
Well, that seems fair enough. Look, you know what? I grew up in a house. We had a shotgun. I grew up in rural New York, okay, where literally the first day of hunting season, the school closed because it was like a holiday and everybody went hunting.
But you and I grew up differently.
Yeah.
Because I had like 6 guns in my dad was a big gun guy. Not one of them locked. Do you think I ever touched his guns?
Oh, my dad's gun was in his closet, just like leaned up against like the corner of the closet. I mean, no, but I never did. I'll tell you what, if I had touched that, I would have been in for the butt whooping of a lifetime.
Exactly.
That wasn't going to happen. Okay.
Exactly.
But my point is, like, I don't know. We'll talk sports. I don't understand why common sense gun laws are such a problem. I just don't get it. Like, to drive my car, I need to get a license.
Right.
I need to register the vehicle. And by the way, that's fine because I can pass the driving test. Like, this isn't hard. Like, to me, the only reason you would be against that is for one of 2 reasons. One, you shouldn't own a gun, which in that case, you shouldn't own a gun. And secondly, it's this whole thing about my right shall not be infringed. No one's infringing on your right because you have to pass a test. That's okay. If that makes it harder for a school to get shot up, I think we're good. Like, that's not that big of a problem. But yeah, I'm with you. And as far as the whole John Morant thing goes, look, he's going to get suspended, I would imagine, for quite some time. And I've seen the arguments for, well, did he do anything illegal? Now, I don't know where that IG Live was. Like, I don't know what the rules are for that specific state.
That doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with the corporate world.
Exactly. And I'm not going to pretend to. But the problem that people are missing with that argument is that's all fine and well, legal, illegal, whatever. The NBA doesn't need it to be illegal to suspend him. It's about image. It's about not only image, but also showing a pattern of horrific decision-making and very dangerous behavior. The NBA is going to look at this and say, we need to stop this behavior before it becomes something that is a much bigger problem. And if you look back, there have been many instances with John Morant where there have been questionable decisions, including outside of that Pacers game earlier in the season, right? So the NBA is going to come down hard here.
The pickup basketball game he had with some kid that he then had an argument with the kid and then went back and got a gun. There's no doubt. Dude, you live in Chicago where there's a lot of gun crime going on. Well, guess what? You have a contract with Sports Illustrated.
I do.
How are they going to feel about you brandishing guns in social media?
Not good. Not good. We're not going to find out either because I'm not going to do it, but not good.
That's the world that Ja lives in and you live in. I don't live in it anymore because I'm not signed to a corporation anymore. But that's the difference that I had a couple of those idiots on social media. Oh, is it illegal in his state? Is it in the CBA? And I'm like, yo, moron. He signed a corporate contract. They own his ass. He has to stand up to owners, to stockholders, to advertisers. All these people are tied to John Morant. He has to understand that. Okay? There's a reason why you have to act accordingly, bro, because you're in the corporate world.
Look, when you are a public figure, you're in the image business, whether you like it or not. That's reality.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, you take a guy like, let's just go to football. Let's talk about, I don't know, Jalen Waddle, okay, who's a star player. If Jalen Waddle wants endorsements, he has to present a certain appearance off the field. That is, I mean, that's real. If Patrick Mahomes wants endorsements, and obviously has many of them, he has to present himself as somebody who is an enticing face of a brand. If you are waving around a handgun on Instagram Live with a litany of very questionable decisions and or bad decisions in your background, Nike's not going to want to work with you.
Exactly.
Okay? You're going to lose the shoe deal. These kind of things are going to go away. Now, that doesn't make you a criminal, but it makes you someone who's losing tens and in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars because you're making poor decisions. And so, look, you can do what you'd like, but in the end, it doesn't have to be illegal to cost you a whole bunch of games and a whole bunch of money. And John Morant's about to find that out.
Yeah, he'll probably get. I would say at least 30 to 40 games. He needs to get suspended.
I think half a season feels like that might be coming.
He needs it. He needs a serious. And that's the other thing. It came like within like just 2 months after the other incident. You're like, really, dude? Like you didn't learn a damn thing. Oh God. All right. So you had your rankings there of the AFC East. So I think Dolphin fans were happy with it.
I mean, they better be. It's the number one on my list. Look, I ranked out the rosters. We're doing the series at SI where I'm handling the AFC. Gilberto Manzano's handling the NFC. And I'm doing off-season report cards. And I gave the Dolphins really high marks on the report card. And I ranked them as the best roster in the AFC East. I think the Dolphins, if Tua is healthy, I think they will win the division. I think they're better than Buffalo and New York. I don't think it's by a huge margin. I think it's by a really slim margin, especially over Buffalo.
Yeah,
I think the Jets to me, I think the Jets could be very good. I also think the Jets could go 8-9. Like neither one of those things would totally shock me. I think the Pats are clearly the fourth team out of four here. I think if Tua is healthy, the Dolphins are a stronger team at this point than Buffalo. Look, they've got weaponry galore all over the field. I would take the Dolphins' weapons over the Bills' weapons.
And the secondary now is
defensively, like Vic Fangio is a great coordinator. He's not a good coordinator. He's not pretty good. He's a great coordinator. Half the league's running his defense. There's a reason.
Well, you give any D coordinator Jalen Ramsey, X, and Holland.
You're right. Okay, and then up front, you've got Phillips, you've got Chubb, you've got Wilkins. Okay, you've got. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Like they are really talented, and I thought last year, frankly, that defense was not coached the way it needed to be coached.
It was injured too. The secondary was all injured.
Yeah, they had a ton of injuries. I mean, Byron Jones didn't play all year. Xavier Howard did not play particularly well, but I think
he was like 60. He was like a 60 or 70%. He had one or 2 growing injuries. At one point early in the season, he had both growing injuries, and then later on it just was one. But you could tell he was maybe 60-70% of himself.
And it'll help. It'll help to have Ramsey, right? Because for X, I'm saying, for Xavier Howard, it'll help to have Ramsey because that'll take some of the pressure off him, and he can get a little bit more help, right? And Ramsey can just deal with his guy one-on-one. So I think for me, I think as long as Tua can stay on the field for, let's say, 15 or more games, I think the Dolphins are absolutely good enough to win the division. I think they will win the division. My concern in the AFC East for Buffalo is I just don't know if we've seen the best version of this current team. I'm not saying the window's closed or anything like that. When you have Josh Allen, your window's going to be open for a while. What I am saying is I do think you have to look at this Bills team and go, okay, the last 2 years were years they could have gone on and won the Super Bowl. And Miller gets hurt last year. That defense fell apart after that, and they go in the playoffs, and they almost lost to Skylar Thompson. Like, really, genuinely shoulda, coulda, woulda lost that game, and then got killed by Cincinnati. And the year prior to that, they're 13 seconds away from hosting an AFC title game, and they fall apart. I mean, I just wonder with the Bills, like, do they have another championship level run in them with this group? Or is it a year where they go 10-7 and they're good, but it doesn't quite click? And yeah, okay, they're fine and they're there, but they're not the upper tier team they've been.
And listen, when I look at the Jets, I know they added Aaron Rodgers, and they have good receivers, but they don't have great receivers. It's not Tyreek Waddle that they have. And so then you're going to need a Tyreek and Waddle to go after X and Jalen. You're going to need some really special talent. You don't have that. And so to me, that's where I think the Dolphins get the edge over the Jets. Yeah, the Jets are going to be better. Yes, they've got Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think that offense is going to be the world beater that people think it is, especially against Miami and Buffalo, who have better defenses and better secondaries and things like that I think can kind of tame what the Jets might be able to do. Sure, the Jets have a hell of a defense. There's no doubt about it. But I still look at the talent, and you mentioned it now. When you look at the offensive talent of Miami, I think that's the superior one. And then to go off of your point, I think what you're trying to say about Buffalo is that if you go into this season, is this the best Buffalo team that's taken the field in the last 3 years? Right. Or were the teams from the last 2 years the better teams, and has this been a gradual decline as of the last couple of years for the Bills?
I think that's a fair question. And I would also add with the Jets, by the way, I have a ton of questions about their offensive line. Who's playing tackle?
That's fair.
Who's playing tackle? And I don't want to hear that Mekhi Becton has all the confidence in the world from the Jets. They just declined his fifth-year option. They don't have any confidence in him. If they did, they would have picked up the option. Okay?
And that's a smart thing to do. By the way, he's been so injured. The right decision. You can't pick it up. Unfortunately,
he's been hurt. He's been out of shape at times. No question.
He's
Max
so
Mitchell,
big. He's so big, bro.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. There's so much weight on those joints.
I mean, it's you look at Carter Warren, 4th-round pick. Okay, he spent 6 years at Pittsburgh. I don't know. I mean, can he come into play as a 4th-round pick, and he's been in college for 6 years? Max Mitchell, he played, I think it was 4, maybe 5 games last year as a rookie for the Jets. Dwayne Brown is literally approaching 40 years old here. He's in his late 30s. Aaron Rodgers is not 25 years old, and if pressure comes, he's going to get out of the way. If pressure comes, he's going down. That's what's going to happen. And, for all those years with Brady had great offensive lines in front of him. Brady always was able to step into the pocket and throw the ball. And with Rodgers, I think the interior of their line is pretty good. I'm worried about those tackles. I'm like, if I'm a team playing the Jets, I am doing everything I can to stress those tackles, get them in one-on-one situations, and say, okay, block me. Because if you can't, you're done. Like, the other question I have is, let's use Miami for a second. If you're Jalen Ramsey, okay, you go on Garrett Wilson. Maybe you don't shut Garrett Wilson down, but you limit him. You do enough. You hold him to 6 catches for 60 yards. Who else is beating you? Like, I respect Alan Lazard. He's not a bad player, but he's not keeping you awake at night. Mecole Hardman, I watched for years in Kansas City. He is a good player. He's a valuable piece, but he's going to have 500 receiving yards. Like, again, he's a guy who he's not going to go nuts. I don't care. Like, Randall Cobb is at this point basically just a figurehead on the team.
Right.
So my question's like, if you can take Garrett Wilson out of the game, or even if you don't have a guy like Jalen Ramsey and you just roll coverage that way, who's beating you? Because Aaron Rodgers has not shown the last year or so that he's going to just throw a bunch of guys open. That's been a problem with the Packers, is they haven't been able to do that once Adams wasn't there. So I think the Jets are good. I do think they're a playoff team, but I also think there's a lot more questions about the Jets than maybe some people are talking about.
I'm with you there. That's why I still think they're easily the third team in the division. The Patriots obviously will be a little behind for a long time to come from what it looks like right now. You look at the sale of the Commanders. I almost said it. Yeah, it's I'm super happy for them, bro.
Yeah.
Because this was a fan base, one of the better fan bases, one of the better franchises when we were growing up. This was royalty, kind of like the Dolphins were. Dolphins and Redskins, kind of the same thing. Their fall from grace. They were part of the elites of the league, and then they went right into the tank. And then Dolphins are trying to rebuild, but Washington has had no chance to rebuild under Snyder. And by the way, I give this guy Josh Harris credit because, it's like he's kind of already indicating, the removal of Snyder is going to be a real boost for this franchise. I'm happy for the Redskins fans, bro. Get rid of that guy. God.
Yeah, hey, it was gonna get you. Listen, Josh Harris is a very good owner. He owns the 76ers. He has spent money on that team. I know that they've been disappointed in the playoffs, but as an owner, he spent money. He has not been cheap. I am a New Jersey Devils fan in hockey, as many of you know. He owns the Devils. He has put a lot of money into that organization. Like that team, they never spent in free agency before he showed up. They do now. They are willing to spend with anybody in hockey. So he will spend money. And here's another thing, if you're a Commanders fan, it's exciting. A lot of times owners come in and they're first-time owners, like David Tepper, for example, right? Like he comes in, it's his first time running an organization, and his first thing to do is hire Matt Rule. Okay? You got to learn how to run a sports franchise. It's different than running, Nabisco. It just is. It's a whole different deal. Okay? You don't have 90,000 people at Nabisco every Sunday screaming. Okay? Right. It's different. Harris already owns 2 major professional sports franchises in the United States. He gets how all this works. He understands it. He doesn't get involved. He doesn't
That's what I was going to tell you. He hires sports people. He hires
smart people. He hires good people. He stays the hell out of their way.
Right.
He understands how professional sports works. So I really think this is a home run for Washington. He's, Washington's not quite in the Northeast. It's in like the Mid-Atlantic area, but he's used to that passionate fan base. I mean, the Sixers have passionate fans. The Devils, not as big of a fan base as the 76ers, but they're very passionate. Like Harris knows what he's getting into. He knows what he's doing. He has an infrastructure for all this stuff. That to me is so valuable, especially walking into a complete tire fire of a situation that he is going to have to put on a hazmat suit to deal with. So I'm very happy for those fans. It is a great, great fan base that has for far too long dealt with this nonsense, and I think they'll be on the rise soon enough here.
Well, I've told Dolphin fans for a while because there's been all these silly reports that the Dolphins were going to trade for Dalvin Cook, and I told them that the Dolphins will not trade for Dalvin Cook, and they ended up even drafting a running back in the 3rd round. Could they sign Dalvin Cook if he's released? And he signs a really cheap contract, like $3.5–4 million. Yeah, I could see something like that. But his $10 million salary that he's going to make this year, he won't make it in Miami if he's released. I don't know if he'll make it anywhere if somebody gives him 10. In fact, I just saw where Saquon turned down 14. If that's true, you're already telling the Giants you don't want to be there. And Saquon, by the way, buddy, $14 million for the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports. You're a dummy for not taking that money. But that's just me. So they just took Cook off the Twitter header for Alexander Madison, who they extended in the offseason, and then they went to ask Cook to take a pay cut, and he refused.
Right.
So what is going to happen in the Dalvin Cook situation? Will they keep him around for one more year and play him out behind Madison, or will they release him because they want to get the cap relief?
So I think really they could go either way here. And I know there are some people who will say, well, why release him now? Because what are you going to use the cap space on? You can always roll it over, and it's valuable as rolled over cap space. So I wouldn't overlook that either. I think this is something where there's a real opportunity for this to go either way. Could he stay there? Yes, he could. He's still really productive. I mean, he's still a very good player. At the same point, if you're Minnesota, I think, let's put it this way. I think this is the easiest way to put it. You need him to bring back value to move off of him. I don't think it makes sense to just go ahead and cut him. He's made the Pro Bowl each of the last 4 years, okay? He's rushed for 1,135, 1,557, 1,159, and 1,173.
He's a hell of a player. Hell of a player.
Cutting him makes no sense. He's 27. Like, I don't understand why, if you're Minnesota, you're going to release this guy. Now, if you can trade him and you can get a mid-round pick, okay.
But that's the screwed up part, doggy. Nobody's going to give you the mid-round pick, and nobody's taking nobody's taking a $10 million salary on a running back at this point in time.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, which is what makes this hard. Like, if you look at cap space for teams right now, only half the league even has $10 million in cap space. Okay, and a lot of these teams, including the Vikings, by the way, are one of the teams that have $10 million. And a lot of these teams are not going to go out and get Dalvin Cook. Like, they're not going to go out and pay for Dalvin Cook. It doesn't make sense. And also, it should be noted quickly, okay? So Dalvin Cook right now is signed for this year and 2 more. Now, you could essentially cut him any year. It's basically a 1-1-1 deal. I mean, the guaranteed money is very minimal moving forward. And if you trade for him, you don't have to deal with the guaranteed money. Okay, that's not your problem. And the cap hits for a team that would acquire him in a trade, 10.4, 11.9, 13.9. So the Vikings would sit there and say, hey, you're getting him for 3 years. And you're like, yeah, no, not really. Because nobody's paying 13.9.
Nope.
So could a team do it? Here's the scenario. Somebody gets hurt in training camp.
Boom.
That's the scenario, right? So if you're Minnesota, you hold them into camp and you wait. And if unfortunately somebody goes down with a knee injury and they're done for the year, you go, hey, you know what? We'll take a look at Dalvin Cook and we'll give you a 4th.
You're the Cowboys, and you lose the Pollard kid in training camp.
He gets hurt again.
And you know Ezekiel, you don't want to bring him back at this point. You're going, oh shit, we need to go get Dalvin Cook. And the Cowboys will trade for Dalvin Cook, and they'll overpay, and they'll do that in that moment.
The Cowboys.
So you are 1,000% right. It has to be a playoff scenario team that has their franchise running back, who really doesn't play in the preseason anyway. So it's going to be hard for them to get injured. But if by some freak nature, somebody's starting running back on a contender, the Eagles, something like that, then yeah, I could see them in a desperation move, kind of wait for that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think if it's going to happen, that's probably how it would happen. But otherwise, if I'm Minnesota, I'd keep him. I mean, you're under the cap. You're $11 million under the cap. Like, he's a 4-time Pro Bowler each of the last 4 years. If you're the Vikings, he's a pretty valuable player. I'm not just going to move him because I don't feel like, keeping him around. I think he'll be there. But after this year in Minnesota, that's when it could be really interesting, because Cousins, his contract runs out after the season. Cook is essentially, like I said, on a year-to-year deal. They're going to have to pay Jefferson. I mean, Jefferson is going to get an ungodly amount of money. Yeah. Jefferson's going to get paid like a quarterback. Okay, I mean, Jefferson's going to be
well deserved. Well deserved.
But he's going to get paid like that. So, like, if you're them, you're going to have to figure it out. And I would not be surprised if next year you see a little bit of a restructuring, if you will.
I love those kind of players, man, because that guy can catch the underneath stuff, can go over the top and get past your defense and blow the top off. Yes. And then if you're covering him, you're still not getting the ball, which makes him the ultimate weapon, because it doesn't matter. You're a quarterback. You're like, okay, 50-50. I don't care. Yeah. Justin, 50-50 for Justin is 80-20, bro.
Look at the catch he made in Buffalo. That's the most catch I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous when you get – there's very few of those kind of guys. Calvin Johnson was like that in his career, that he could get past you. He can catch underneath stuff and take it to the house. And then if he wanted to go up in the air and you were with him, you weren't coming down with the ball. Yeah. He was going to come down with the ball. That guy is – man.
Andre Johnson was like that for a time.
He was, he just has shitty quarterbacks. Yeah,
people forget about him because they didn't go deep in the playoffs. He was insane,
total stud. One of the best receivers I have ever seen in my life. Andre, yes, Hall of Famer, one of the 10 best talents I have ever seen. Total freak of a player, Andre Johnson. He just played on just terrible quarterbacks, bro. Matt Schaub, he had to make a living off of.
Wasn't good.
Are you kidding me, dude? Anyway, what do you got going on Sports Illustrated this week so folks can check you out?
Wrapping up the AFC report cards and going through the rosters. That's a little fun off-season project we're doing. Next week, I'll be putting out the top 25 draft prospects for next year. So if you want to kind of just get a little jump on next year's draft class, take a look, see who you should be watching on Saturdays this year in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a fun list to put together. You're not going to believe it, but Caleb Williams is right there at the top. So it's stunning. I like to be controversial. So we'll have that. I don't know if it might run next week or the week after, but there will be. I'm writing a piece on Herbert and Burrow and what those contracts are going to look like through the eyes of agents. And then Monday into Tuesday, I will be up in Green Bay working on a piece about the Packers. So that'll be fun. But there'd be a lot to look forward to over at SIs. Check it out.
Follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderam and catch his work. And if you haven't seen the article, go back to check it out.
That's right.
How he put the Dolphins #1 in the AFC East. Read up on that. Matt, as always, thank you, my friend. We'll catch up next week. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you, my friend. There you go. And Sports Grill, man. You got the Heat game tonight. Great place to go. You got 8 awesome locations at Sports Grill. You can take home the hot sauces now. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a Tuesday, and at Sports Grill, $2 tacos today, chicken, beef, or fish. So check it out. Go to Sports Grill, 8:30 tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Tuesday.
The kids eat free, even better. With the purchase of you can take those sauces home with you. 8 awesome locations. Go to sportsgrill.com. Look at the nearest one search for the nearest one near you, and check out the Doral location. If you live close to Doral or work close, it's right off of 87th Avenue, about a mile south from the golf course right there. Sports Grill, baby. And that is Matt Verderam. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? What do we got here on the no one's infringing any right voting by forcing okay. Banking guns won't either, but it can mitigate issues. You can buy a cold beer until you're 21, but you can buy an assault weapon at 18. What's wrong with this picture? Doesn't everybody know that there's already background checks? I have a buddy that drove with a suspended license while knowing that they charged him with a felony. He can't purchase again. They don't have background checks everywhere. You know, that's not everywhere yet because it's by state. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. And I think somebody, where is it that I just saw it right now, that common sense laws don't change. Well, we've never had them. We've never made like a 30-day wait. We've never forced everybody with background checks, forced everybody to put fingerprints, no ghost guns, all that kind of stuff. You got to eliminate all that stuff. They've never done it, so that you have no argument to stand on. So if the country actually did it and put a 30-day wait, you got to take a gun course. They don't have that. They should. And anybody that challenges that, it's pure ignorance. That's all. What the hell should it matter to you that you got to wait 30 days to get your gun? What should it matter to you if you have to take a gun course? What should it matter if you have to take a test? Make sure that you're mentally capable of handling a gun. All of those kind of things. You got to at least try. They don't do that. So whoever put that, I know I saw it there. Oh, common sense gun laws never help. They've never done it. They've never had hardcore rules to it. Okay? It should be a privilege to own a gun, not a right. We have too many stupid people in this world. Okay? That's all. So I completely disagree. Until they actually try it and then it doesn't work, okay, I'll believe it. But they have to actually put it and implement it. Okay? Don't make it easy for people to just purchase, and definitely raise the age for sure. So, Anyway, do you consider this Heat season a success? Oh, God, yes. This team's not that good, bro. Yes. Yes, please. They have one star and a bunch of role players. Yeah, dude. Eastern Conference? For sure. And once again, it proves that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA. Washington Warriors and keep the there's no name change anymore. They're going to have to wait over a decade to do that now. They just changed the name. It's not going to happen. They can't do that right away. It takes a long time. It takes at least 10 years, I believe. Now, we're coming up now to the Dolphins. The Dolphins can start to change theirs back to the original and tweak it or whatever they want to do with it, which is the problem. It was Michelle. Let's see. We are waiting for Michelle Kaufman. Let's see. In Pennsylvania, you can have a pot license and own a license to carry. But if you have mental health issues, I can buy one. How about that one? There you go. That's what I'm saying, dude. It just, that would have helped Plaxico. Stupid people like Plaxico should not be carrying a gun. That's a moron right there. Let's see. To get rid of Dan Snyder's stink, I bet the NFL would make an exception in this case. Oh God, but that was the NFL that pushed that, not Dan Snyder. They forced him. He never wanted to change the name. You're getting that story wrong there, Ragin. The Commanders thing, don't blame him. He didn't really want that. It's just that's where the name ended up or whatever. So yeah, that was the issue with that. All right, let's talk a little football tonight, baby. In the red hot Inter Miami that they got back on track, and I got to tell you, good morning, of course. What's it called, Michelle? But when a couple weeks back, we're getting the news that Messi is pretty much staying in Saudi or going to the Saudis, and it's not working out. They're losing games here. They're not playing well. I'm going, oh my God, this season's going to go to crap. We're not getting Messi. We're not getting Busquets. We're not getting anything, and they're not winning. And then all of a sudden, here comes the U.S. Open Cup, and they get that win. It wasn't the prettiest of wins either, but it kind of started the fire a little bit, like Billy Joel would say. And here we are, 6 wins later, and feeling a little better about the football club.
Yep, it's actually 5, but it's okay. Wishful thinking, maybe 6 after tonight. Yeah, 2 U.S. Open wins and 3 league wins in a row. But among the top teams, they beat Columbus on the road, they beat Atlanta, and they beat New England, the first place team. So yeah, they've won 5 games in a row. They're scoring goals. Joseph Martinez finally came out of his slump. He has scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. So he's, starting to come around a little bit because he had been silent up until that point.
It was a terrible signing up until that point. God,
it was a terrible signing because they just released all of the salaries yesterday, and he's the highest paid player on the team, and he's making $4 million. They're not paying $4 million. Atlanta bought out his contract and is playing the majority of it. In fact, about 2/3 of it is being covered by Atlanta. So Miami's paying about 1/3 of his salary. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be the guy. He's the big name signing of the season. And he had not scored a goal in 7 games, which was the longest goalless streak in his entire career. So he's now scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. And the infusion of youth, Benha Kramashi and David Ruiz. David Ruiz the other day, had a goal, an
instigator, facilitator, and then of course score.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one who got, he drew the foul that allowed Joseph Martinez to get that PK in the previous game against Atlanta. And then in this game, he scored the first goal, got an assist on the second goal, and then got the red card.
Well, wait, there's more. I've never seen anybody get 3 yellow cards.
Yeah, he got 3 yellows. He's a lot of firsts in that game for David Ruiz, but it's pretty cool because we're talking about local kids.
Yeah.
And Schneider, who scored in the first game. So Schneider is a guy who came up from the second team, and he's from Fort Lauderdale, a Haitian American from Fort Lauderdale. Benha Kramashi is an 18-year-old Argentine American from Key Biscayne. And then David Ruiz is a 19-year-old Honduran American from Little Havana who grew up playing in Alapata. I mean, his youth club was in Alapata, and he's now, about to go off to the under 20 World Cup with Honduras. He's on the first team of Inter Miami, getting goals and assists. So, these young players have injected this team with a lot of energy. And meanwhile, Pizarro has been injured, for several weeks now with a hamstring injury. And, these other young kids have stepped up because all the other guys are injured. Gregory's injured. He's out for 6 months. Mota is out for 4 to 6 months. And now Pizarro's also out for about a month. So these young kids have come in and they've more than stepped up.
No es por nada, pero Pizarro es un sapo. So, I'm sorry, but every time he's in the lineup, it's not really going that well. And now all of a sudden, the infusion of these young guys, Martinez really lifting it up and playing, to his level. The Gregory injuries really hurting this team.
That was bad. That was really bad. That was really bad. I mean, he's a critical player. He's a critical player, and they don't have that. They brought in Dixon Arroyo is the guy that they brought in to replace him, who's an experienced guy from Ecuador. He's a defensive midfielder, physical, and he is developing a good, partnerships with the other midfielders because he's brand new also. He just got here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So they're still kind of blending some of these pieces together, but they've really done very well. Now, overall, just for perspective, which sports fans never seem to have, everybody was down, whatever. But the truth is, like right now, there are 7 teams. Miami is in 6th place. They've moved up from 14th place to 6th place. They've moved up 8 spots in 2 weeks. And that's wonderful. However, there are 7 teams tied with 15 points. Miami's up there because they've beaten some of the others, but there are 7 teams that have 15 points. And the difference between last place, 15th, and 6th place is 3 points. So, it's really way too early right now. That's why when people were already talking about, oh, the season is lost, it's time to fire Phil, it's time to whatever. We're talking about a
that was
season
ridiculous.
That goes on.
That was
ridiculous.
The
season goes on until October. We are only in May. This season goes on in May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months.
I was kind of bothered with the whole, if Neville doesn't do something in this U.S. Open Cup game, they should fire him. And I'm like, so it's his fault that Campana's been injured? It's his fault that Martinez has been a bust? Really? Yeah. Is this what we're going to do? It's his fault that Gregory got injured? I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure this out now. Why is it his fault? And then, very Spoelstra-like, dare I say this shit, okay? This crap hits the fan. He's got all these injuries. They got to make changes. Martinez finds his way. Now he brings in the youngsters. He blends them in. Now they're starting to play well. And now nobody's praising Neville enough because he inherited crap 3 years ago and a mess and a an interior mess that was going on inside the team and all that. He had to deal with the Higuain mess, and he had to bench that guy in order to reach him and all that. I think he's done a marvelous job every single time.
Martinez.
Of adversity. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He handles adversity very well so far in 3 years. Every time there's adversity, just give Neville time and he figures it out and the sun comes up. Just like it's doing right now.
It was almost a cut and paste with Joseph Martinez and Gonzalo. It's almost like he went back and just cut and paste because you had the highest paid player on the team who's supposed to be a goal scorer who wasn't doing anything, totally came in completely out of shape. Same story as Gonzalo a year ago. And he benched him and he benched Joseph. He benched Joseph too. Joseph did not play 3 games ago before the Atlanta game or whatever. He did not play. He sat on the bench and never came off the bench, did not come off the bench. He played in the U.S. Open Cup game and then did not play the next game at all. And then he unleashed him against Atlanta and he goes and does a storybook, 2 goals. He gets his first 2 goals of the season against his former team, and Phil was pumping him up that whole week. Like, okay, this is your week. You're going to get your chance. This is your time in front of Atlanta, in front of their fans. This is your time to bust out of this, losing streak and whatever. And guess what? He did it. He scored that PK on his first touch out of the gate. He had not touched the ball, which is a hard thing to do. And Campana was supposed to take that PK. Campana was assigned to the PK, and he went over and asked him if he can take it. And Campana knew how much it meant to him, and Campana, passed it off and let him take it, which was very risky, to be honest, for a guy who A, hasn't scored, and B, was literally just walking off the bench. And he goes and scores that PK, really nice, and then goes and scores another beautiful goal. So that was a huge moment for him, that Atlanta game, and he's been building off that. And yes, that was orchestrated by Phil. That whole bench him and then return him against Atlanta, that was orchestrated by Phil.
That was awesome. He's done a great job, man. And I think at times he gets an unfair rap too, overall. Messi, Busquets, that's dead, right?
Dead. No, that's not dead. No,
really?
That's not dead. No, that's not dead. The reports of Saudi.
Don't do that to me.
His father came out.
Messi's
father came out and had a very serious statement, the father, saying all of these reports are bullshit. He didn't use those words, but he said, there is no deal with anybody. Nothing has been signed. Nothing has been agreed to. Nothing has been decided until after the PSG season. He said nothing. He said that these reports, and that he ripped people who republish these reports and retweet these reports without any confirmation from anybody in his camp, that until the PSG season is over, after the PSG season is over, is when he's going to review the offers that he has. And that is when he's going to make his decision. He absolutely has not agreed to go to Saudi Arabia or sign with Saudi Arabia or anything. No, that is not a done deal. That is not a done deal. He could end up in Spain He could end up here. I mean, I think the more likely scenarios are Spain and Saudi. But the Miami deal, one of the things is, I know this for a fact, they do not, the Messi camp does not like leaks. It really, the father gets very, very irritated when, like that Saudi, when people start writing things without checking and whatever, he gets very upset.
Well,
The MLS
Latins and Chivatos don't
oh
go
yes,
well. Don't go well.
it doesn't go well. So MLS and Inter Miami have been so quiet. They have not been saying boo because they don't want to poke the bear. They don't want to upset Messi or his father. They are playing the good cop. They are doing all of their negotiations extremely quietly. Nobody knows what's going on. Anyone who claims they do is full of crap, because the only people that are in on those meetings are Don Garber, David Beckham, and the Moss brothers and the Messi people. Nobody else. Anyone who claims that they know anything, it is just not true. I can tell you that it is not true. No one knows what conversations are being had except those people in those inner circles. So any journalist out there who's putting things out on Twitter, they don't know. They really don't know. And a decision has not been made.
So that's why, what was it? Was it Phil that said, I hope Busquets makes the right decision or something
Makes
like
the right
that?
decision.
Yeah, I when he said that, I was like, whoa. Like, you would only say that if you think you really have a chance. You know what I'm saying? So that statement, I just wonder if there was more to it. And I don't want to get myself worked up.
They're still in the mix. They're still in the mix. They're still in the mix. Supposedly, now again, this part is just, what I've read, that Messi's wife, does not want to go raise the kids in Saudi Arabia, to be honest. She loves Miami. She would love to raise her kids in Miami. They love Miami. They have a house here. The Saudi thing is, it's money. It's money, 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 and more money. There's nothing else appealing about that. That is not a soccer loving country. That is not a soccer passionate country. Ronaldo went there and, to be honest, kind of fell off the map. Who's been talking about Ronaldo since he went over there?
Nobody cares about that league. Right.
No one cares about that league. So, they're doing what they can to promote their league. They're signing these giant contracts. But I feel like when Ronaldo left Europe and went to Saudi Arabia, he fell off the map. And so, I don't know that that's what Messi wants to do for his final hurrah. I mean, the more emotional,
I'm with you.
Pretty storybook story would be that he goes back to Barcelona, to where he loved and where he cried when he left, and go back to where he started, and maybe go there and play, and then come here when they open the new stadium, maybe 1 year before the World Cup, come to the United States.
He's like 40 years old at that point, bro. Come on. He's coming over here with a walker at that point. God.
The other option, he comes here. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but I've said it before. This is not Inter Miami wooing him. This is MLS, Apple, Adidas. We're talking about big companies, and it behooves them that, Apple just signed a $2 billion deal with MLS. And the idea is to spread Apple products and spread MLS around the world. What better way to do that than to have Leo Messi in an MLS jersey playing MLS games at 7:30 p.m. every week, that people can tune in all over Europe, all over Latin America, all over Africa, and all over Asia, So the best way to spread MLS would be to have Messi in this league around the world, with Apple on board and with Adidas on board 3 years before the World Cup in the United States. So there are a lot of entities that would benefit from Messi coming here. This is not about Inter Miami needs a number 10 and they're trying to get Leo Messi. This is way, way, way beyond that, which is why I'm saying the conversations that are being had, this is not about the club of Inter Miami versus a club in Saudi versus a club in Spain. This is about the league, MLS as a league, versus Saudi money and Barcelona storybook story. That's kind of the three as far as I can tell, and from what I know from whom I've spoken to, whatever, the three options are really, come in here with big business deals with the MLS, Apple, and Adidas that could, we're talking about things like stadium ownership rights and things like that, where it would be setting up his portfolio, his business portfolio for the future, and spreading Apple and spreading Adidas and spreading, MLS versus just a big crap load of money, a giant money bag in Saudi Arabia that's just, here's $500 million. Here you go. Which,
right.
I mean, I would, who's not going to take $500 million?
Well, they could give them an expansion team, and that's a $500 million right there also at the same time.
Right now they're announcing, San Diego's a $500 million deal. So, right. And then, Barcelona has financial problems, but that is a club that he loves, that he started there. And if he came back there, he would be, the God comes back to Barca. So, I think that those are the three options that he's weighing. I honestly believe his father that a decision has not been made and that nothing has been decided or signed. That's my belief.
All right. One more thing before I let you go. This is the final year that we have to deal with Pizarro, right? He's done after this year.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Okay. What do you got going on the Herald leading up to the game so folks can check you out? Oh, and by the way, great job on the Brown and Walker story.
Oh, wasn't that cool? Lonnie Walker and Bruce Brown. Yeah. When I was watching the Western Conference,
go to the Herald, by the way, and read that article that Michelle wrote about Lonnie Walker and Bruce Brown, since they're both in the Western Conference Finals. So really cool.
They're both in the Western Conference Finals, playing against each other. And in 2018, those two guys were teammates at the University of Miami. And a lot of people forget that. But I, since I cover the team, it just jumped out at me when I saw them playing, and I was like, oh, if Denver wins and LA wins, they're going to play against each other. And also, Lonnie had that huge game, 15 points in the fourth quarter for the Lakers. And the very next night, Bruce Brown had 25 points for Denver. And he said he was inspired by Lonnie. So they are inspiring each other, energizing each other. Now they're competing against each other. So that's a pretty cool story. Yeah, I got to talk to both guys on Monday, which I was shocked that they called me back. I was so excited because, it's a testament to covering this team 26 years. People get to know you and they trust you, whatever. But still, on the eve of a playoff, Western Conference championships, I wasn't sure they would return the call. Both of them called with the help of their PR people over there, and I thought it was a pretty cool local story. Yeah, and then as far as the game tonight goes, I did a story about the youth. My previous story focuses a lot on these young guys, and what Neville said is that he remembers very vividly coming into Manchester United with David Beckham and four of his other closest friends. They came in as teenagers, as a group, into the first team dressing room as a group, as a little clot of teenagers. And he said that now this team has that. And he's watching these young kids together in a little corner of the locker room, and it's reminding him of himself as a teenager. And he loves that. He loves that they sort of have a culture within the culture. The young guys form a culture within the group culture, and they energize the older guys. And DeAndre Yedlin said it. I have him quoted in there saying, he's like, you know what? When I see a 19-year-old David Ruiz flying through a tackle, even though he got a card, even though he gets a yellow, I'm thinking to myself, shoot, that guy's 19. He's playing in MLS and he's flying through that tackle. I need to lift my energy. I need to play with a little more energy and a little more urgency. And so the young kids are, yes, they're going to make mistakes because they're teenagers, literally 18 and 19 years old. They are going to make mistakes. However, they are fearless. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know what's at stake. They haven't, as DeAndre said yesterday, they haven't experienced anything that hurts yet.
Right.
And once you've experienced things that hurt, whether it's physical or emotional, you change mentally and emotionally. But those kids are just, they're just having fun out there. And they really have been a big reason, I believe, and so does Phil and so do all the players, that those young kids are a big reason that this team has had a turnaround for the past few weeks. It really is those kids. And they're local, which I think is very cool.
Yeah, man.
That a kid from Alapata, a kid from Key Biscayne, a kid from Fort Lauderdale, they're playing on the first team. You know, they're still going and seeking Messi and getting players from Europe and South America, but there are players right here in South Florida in the backyards and those little soccer parks all over, kids who are really talented. And if they get an opportunity and they get some coaching and some guidance, they can maybe do some special things.
No doubt. That's why there's a lot of clubs opening up academies here in South Florida, because they know it's a breeding ground for it. All right, follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports. Subscribe to the Herald. Go to the Herald. Read the Bruce Brown, Lonnie Walker story. There's a nice nugget there. I'm not going to tell you why. It reminds me Larry is so special in that story. You should read about that.
Yes.
And then read about Inter Miami getting ready for the matchup tonight against Nashville. Michelle, as always, thank you for joining us. Follow her on Twitter like I and many others do at Koff Sports. Thank you, Michelle. We'll catch up down the line. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for having me. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Thank you. All right. Hour number 2 is down here from Raleigh, North Carolina. Hour number 3, Omar Kelly is next. And we're going to challenge him with that weak-ass prediction where he made the Dolphins win the same amount of games they won last year. We will hold Omar Kelly's feet to the fire next.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time to talk Aqua and Orange, Miami Dolphins fans. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Omar Kelly. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. 305-602-8369. Let's talk Dolphins football. Here's Omar Kelly.
Let's go. There he is.
Where are you?
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Concert? Which one?
Of course, bro. Crowded house, front row. So they're not coming to South Florida, so I'm going to see the Finn boys. So I flew up here for that. People are like, "Hey, yeah, go Panthers! You're going to go see the Panthers." No, dude, because they do open up tomorrow night here, so everybody thinks I'm coming up for the concert. See, you knew right away what I was going to do.
Of course, because we share a passion for concert going, and I don't think people understand the value of concert going. But one thing I will say is, I think since COVID, the synergy that we're building to becoming a better concert city died down. And I really think that South Florida needs to create more of a concert environment, because I'm one of those people, I love to see live acts. I'd love to see live performances. And we don't have nearly enough. And I'm not talking about clubs where you got to go to the club, the guy grab a microphone and do a 30-minute set where he's talking over his tracks. I'm talking about with live bands. You know the groups that I like, but live bands, live performances, man, it's an art. This is how these performers are making their money in today's age of music. And we in South Florida do a horrible job. Like, I would love for that.
No. Some of it is out of our control. And I'll tell you why, because I've talked to the people that are involved in the music industry and touring and promoting and all that kind of stuff, because I've always been interested in this. And there are two factors working against us. One is demographics. Demographics dictate what kind of music we normally get here. So we're going to get more pop. We're going to get more R&B. We're going to get more rap. We're going to get more Spanish. We're not going to get as much rock. And then the other factor is, believe it or not, they hate driving all the way down to South Florida, because while the artists can fly, the trucks have to drive. And so they hate, because they have to drive down to the peninsula and then they got to drive out of the damn peninsula. So
but I'm saying,
bands either structure that they start here or end here. And if they don't start or end here, there's a good chance they're not coming here. And so logistics is a problem sometimes, and the demographics is the other in our moment at the same time, which hurts me more than you, because I'm more of a rock and metal guy, and that kind of hurts. But pop and rap and Spanish,
we don't get enough pop. We don't get enough rap.
Well, that's because of the logistics. Okay, on my end, it's more the demographics.
If I could, I'd go to a concert because of my toddler, I don't go out anymore. I'm going to get back there. but I would make the exception for concerts, and I would schedule. And my wife loves it too. It's just there's just not enough.
I know.
There's just nothing. There's some. I love Jazz in the Gardens. I think they've done a phenomenal
great job with that one.
The Rolling Loud.
They've done really good, bro. They've done a really good job with it. And we had a couple of years where it got out of hand with a couple of bullshit. They've cleaned all that up too. So that's good too.
It's just not the. I like the event, and I think it's a great event.
They bring names. They bring names.
Yeah, but it's too much. It's too much
for
a
festival, doggy.
I know it's a festival, but bro, you can't have. There are 3 different stages, and you move from one spot. Like I find a spot at the main stage, and who comes is who comes, and that's who I see. Then I would love to go trek to go see another performing act, but you can't. It's I know. We just got. I would love to be in that arena in space, but it is what it is.
No, I get it. All right, let's get to some Dolphins talk. Do you need mental help or something? Is something going on with you there? You predicted the Dolphins to go 9-8. So you got them doing the same shit they did last year.
Bro, we had this discussion. You know my trauma.
Yeah, but no, I know your trauma, but I gotta. They added Jalen Ramsey, Vic Fangio. Yeah, and then now you get X healthy, which he was playing easily at 60-70%.
You hope he stays healthy, but you're assuming they're gonna have when I do these predictions,
I'm just assuming that Vic Fangio is going to make everything better, and I'm assuming that Jalen Ramsey is going to make everything better.
That I thought Boyer was a joke.
But Boyer only had so much he could do with no secondary, so I don't blame Boyer for last year, and the defense kept them in as it is pretty much in every game. But the bottom line is you added Fangio and Jalen Ramsey. I could go with David Long. I can add a couple of other things that I'm really excited about. How in the world do they win the same amount of games?
I looked
with all the injuries they had last year.
How in the world did they lose? What was it? 6 of 7 in the final stretch last year.
They were injured. Completely injured.
You're looking at a healthy roster, should be 10 wins, 11 wins. I know health is never going to happen in the NFL. You're going to count.
You're going to have a couple, but not like it was last year.
You will subtract at least 6 key players from the team for at least 6 games. Just that's off the top. So figure out who you want to account for those 6 players, whether it's David Long or it's Durham Smythe or it's Connor Williams. You figure out what 6.
There was a hell of a lot more than 6 last year.
I'm just saying.
They had 6 alone in the secondary. The secondary, 6. Brandon Jones, Nick Needham, Trill Williams, Byron Jones, X. Who am I missing?
X was still in there.
Yeah, but come on, bro. X sucked it up last year. He was in there because he just wanted to be a pro last year.
You are missing one.
I'm missing somebody.
Brandon Jones, Byron Jones,
X,
Nick Needham,
Nick Trill. Somebody else got injured. But all right, just 5 in the secondary.
Bro.
Just in the secondary.
And you're going to be watered down again in your secondary. So, you take away a defensive lineman, take away a linebacker, just take away one player from each unit. Just one. It doesn't have to be Toronto.
They'll be way better than they were last year. Last year it was, it was 60 men went it down. It was like every game a couple guys went out and you're losing one for the season. It was just ridiculous last year.
I am not of the opinion. I am, and this is not a popular opinion, but it's my opinion. And there are certain areas where I like the depth on the team. And then there are certain areas where I'm like, this is just not enough. Cornerback obviously is not one of those areas.
Yeah, but I would hope not.
After this week's signing on the offensive line, I like it a little bit better. But think about what you went through last year. I mean, you had piss poor depth on the offensive line to the point where you had to claim guys off waiver wire and practice squad just to make it through the season. as starters. So, this is not a finished product because they're going to add guys before training camp starts. They're going to add guys during training camp. They're going to claim guys. They're going to claim guys once the rosters are trimmed down. So this is not a finished product. But I still look at this roster and I think they're about 6 players away from having good depth. I still don't like where you are at linebacker.
I don't think anybody in the NFL has great depth at every position.
The Eagles, Kansas City, Dallas. I would argue Dallas has phenomenal depth. Dallas, I think, and I've said this to you before.
Oh, they just need a quarterback that can show up in big moments, but that's
he's
kind
a top 10 quarterback. Stop. Don't
stats wise, but he doesn't show up in big moments.
He doesn't show up in the big games. When has Tua showed up in a big game?
He walked off the bench and won a national championship. And by the way, he hasn't had big games yet here. He hasn't had the team. He hasn't had the team to put himself there. But in a big moment down by 21 against the Ravens, that ain't something that guy's doing.
I'm sure Dak's got games like that too.
Dak ain't doing that shit, bro.
Dak
ain't coming back from 21 down, bro. He's not. He's a front running quarterback. Okay.
Listen,
he has that Tannehill disease.
Wow.
Okay, he's a front runner. He once he falls behind, he ain't doing what Tua did last year.
Tannehill disease. Did you really go there? Tannehill disease,
yeah.
Bro. Listen, you know where we sit on the Tannehill train, the Tannehill criticism committee. We're standing board members. He's made $200 million, bro. He's won.
Oh no, he won definitely.
He's won. He's won.
He won in the bank account, but in the football discussion, he ain't winning shit.
Hey,
so
he's won.
That's fine.
He's won in
that's
life.
Fine.
He's made $200 million. He'll probably go be a TV game caller because he's not going to be a studio guy. He's going to go call games for TV for the next 20 years. He'll probably walk away probably one of the richest people in NFL history. Off being average.
Stuff. Yeah, I can see him doing. He's vanilla enough to do some local TV Homer broadcast.
No, not local TV. He's going to do what Trent Green's doing, and
that's what I mean. But for the Titans, like ABC's local station carries the Titans or NBC or whatever, and he's the guy. He's the Kim Bocamper of.
No. He's gonna be calling games for CBS or Fox or.
National? You got him national?
Oh yeah. Come on.
There's no personality there, bro.
You act like Trent Green's got a personality. Like, I agree with you, but come on, let's be respectful to Tannehill. He's done just enough to.
I think Mushbrain. I think Mushbrain has a little bit more personality than Tannehill.
Who's Mushbrain?
Trent Green. When we traded for him or signed him, I was like, really? They're signing Mushbrain?
Bro,
he had so many concussions at that point, and sure enough, his career ended really quickly with the Dolphins. I was like, only the Dolphins would sign Mushbrain. See, those are the days when people would say, "Oh, you're negative," and I was like, "No, they just watch." And there you go.
Amen.
So now I'm too positive because now I really like what they're doing. I hated what they used to do. Now I love what they're doing. So I never win.
People will say that there's a correlation between Trent Green and Tua, and I'm not necessarily certain that I agree. But the Dolphins didn't get a backup plan. They didn't break in case of an emergency court like Mike White. And no disrespect to Mike White, but
no, Mike's a smart move. Mike is the competition for Skyler because you're trying to develop a solid backup now. That's a young guy that's not going to break your goddamn bank. Because if you go get an 8-10 year veteran, those guys, you have to pay them $7 million, $8 million to be your backup. Because
that's why you take one in the second round, and he's super cheap.
Right, exactly.
Which is why they should have.
But if you can't do that, right? If you can't get a Hendon Hooker or whatever or something like that, then you're going to have to pay for a veteran. And bro, those veterans. The backup quarterback job for a veteran, brother, that is the best job in the world.
Absolutely.
Curtis Painter has stolen more money than
he's not
God. No, but he was in the league for like 10 years as a backup, stealing money, dude.
I remember I counted up. Matt Moore made $27 million in the league as a backup.
But Matt had a little.
That's a lot.
But by the way, Matt, I give Matt a little credit because he had a little moxie to him. So
yeah. Oh, I love Matt Moore.
I know you love Matt Moore, but I think Matt is actually a good backup quarterback for you.
I love Matt Moore. I think Matt Moore would have been a good starter if he. I think they would have had a better season in 2017 if Matt Moore was a starter instead of Jay Cutler. But Adam Gase basically said to me, "I can't trust Matt to do what I say."
No, Matt's a gunslinger. That's the thing.
Yes,
that's why that's where you and I will differ with Matt. I like him in there for a couple games. If you leave him in there too much, then he gets you in trouble.
Hey man, he led the team to the playoffs balances out. 2016, and he was the MVP of the season in 2011. Like, put some respect on Matt's name, man.
No. He does a nice job. No, yeah, he's one of the better backup quarterbacks they've had.
You got to have a coach that's not scared. Adam Gase. This is what I didn't like about Adam Gase, and I loved Adam Gase because I thought he had a great personality. Ego was massive, so he was the smartest man in the room. So he had his negatives as well, but what I thought was his limitation was all he wanted was a quarterback who would do exactly what he said. He just wanted a computer that he can play like a joystick and just do exactly what I say.
By the way, we have a listener that nailed it. It was the kid Mackenzie that they signed from Minnesota, Mackenzie Alexander. They signed. He got injured right away. You remember that? The DB. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, they had Mackenzie Alexander here?
Yeah, but we had this like ghost of Tannenbaum over us, like knocking all players out. That poor kid, we signed Mackenzie Alexander within the first week. He got injured and done for the year. Within the first week of practice. I'm telling you, bro, the luck that the Dolphins had last year it didn't exist. The word luck didn't exist. It was just like a curse. But anyway, finish your point. I'm sorry on Gase.
I didn't even know they signed. I was busy last year. Damn shit. I didn't even know they signed Mackenzie Alexander. What was I saying? On
the Gase stuff.
Yeah. And that to me, that's part of the reason, you can't. I think you have to be more accommodating as a coach to want to coach. And I've learned this working with professional athletes. They hated the coaches where no matter who you had on your roster or what talents you had, this is my scheme. This is what you're going to play, instead of those who adapt to the talent that they have around them. What I've learned is there's a small percentage of coaches that will adapt to the talent they have around them. There's a small percent of Jim Harbaughs as opposed to who will take a Lamar Jackson and build an entire offensive team around them, as opposed to those who want, we gotta run what we run. This is our scheme. Yeah. This is the talent that I need for the scheme.
That's why Shula was amazing, because she adapted every single time. He had all kinds of different teams, because it all depended on if he had Woodstock. Well, then I have to play with this 2-quarterback system. Then I'll do it, which was like unheard of. Like people didn't work 2 quarterbacks. He did it because he didn't have one, so he had to work 2. You know what I mean? And he had the running team in the 70s, the passing team with Marino. Shula was amazing, dude. Awesome. So awesome.
I wanted to get your perspective on the 2 signings that they had on the offensive line. We'd hammered Chris Greer. When are you going to get alignment? When are you going to get alignment? When are you going to get alignment?
Well, I talked about it. Isaiah Wynn, I think, happened. This is just me. I think Isaiah Wynn happened because Cameron Fleming's asking for too much money. The fact that Cameron Fleming has not signed with another team tells me he's asking for too much money. And so they went with Isaiah Wynn.
Or they didn't like his conditioning.
No. You might be right. He might have a deal with somebody else. That might be the case. I'm going to say
or
right
he might
now,
not want to participate in training camp. There's a lot of veteran. I know a lot of guys.
And Ndamukong Suh was very open about that the other day. He's like, I'm in no hurry to be in training camp. I'll sign my deal down the line.
Absolutely.
He doesn't, and although that's in Ndamukong Suh. Cameron Fleming has not earned that title of, oh no, that's a proven seasoned vet that we can come in and okay, good.
Yeah.
You know, Cameron Fleming is a swing tackle, all that good stuff, but he's not like this world beater.
Isaiah Wynn is younger and has
more
upside.
Yeah, actually,
younger potentially has more upside, potentially has more position flexibility.
Exactly. He will play guard also here.
I think, and people are not factoring this in. Remember, Teron Armstead does not practice during training camp or the exhibition season.
Right.
So you're going 2 full months where you have to have a legitimate left tackle. Last year, they made it through with Greg Little and Larnell Coleman.
And Greg Little never made it. He got injured in practice last year. I just want to keep, because you apparently not remembering all, like, that no one could stay healthy last year, and you're still giving them 9 wins. You're out of your mind.
Bro, injuries are gonna be part of the game. And
Last year we had some son of a bitch somewhere doing some Santeria with a doll and just poking the shit out of that fish. And I don't know, something was going on. Somebody was doing some black magic. All right, I'm telling you, there was some Santeria going on the Dolphins last year.
Pick your 6 players, pick your 6 frontline players. Take them off your team for 6 games and tell me how good they are.
12, 13 wins if it's like that. Okay, as long as it's not Tua.
12, 13 win. You think this is a 12, 13 win team?
There's a 13-4 team if Tua's healthy.
Wow.
13-4.
I got to wrap my brain around that.
If Tua is healthy.
Yes. Okay? No. And I looked at the season. Yeah, Tua's probably gonna miss 2 games, 3 games here and there.
And you're giving him 9? He missed 5 and they won 9.
Hey man.
You know Waddle and Hill did not have a touchdown with the other quarterbacks. You do know that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And
if Tua's healthy, this team's gonna ball freaking.
Who's to say you're going to have Waddle and Hill for an entire season healthy? Based on
we had them last year. Listen, if you're going to go by track record of people that do get injured, I'm going to go with track record of people that don't get injured. Okay, so if you can play that effing game, I'm going to play that effing game.
Touche.
Okay? Don't tell me that I get Teron Armstead might get hurt, but don't go fucking with Robert Hunt. Okay.
Hey, listen, and for a piece that I wrote, and I want to get your thoughts on this. For a piece that I wrote on alldolphins.com, I'm okay with what they did on the offensive line. I like that you add former first rounders. I like that you add, players that are trying to salvage their career. I like that you add guys that, hey, man, if it doesn't go good here, I'm probably a veteran minimum guy for the rest of my career, if not out of the league. I like guys that are hungry and desperate, especially when they're athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But I started looking at the draft picks because obviously I didn't trust this organization. No offense to Chris Greer, but I didn't trust this organization to draft an offensive lineman. Reason why? Only 2 of the 9 Chris Greer has drafted since 2016 have proven to be quality, respectable NFL starters. 2 of 9. And I was just like, God damn, that's bad. That's bad. You at least want to be hitting 33%. And so I'm okay with you getting
John Elway couldn't find a quarterback, right?
John Elway. Oh, he found a quarterback that won a Super Bowl. He
didn't draft him. Okay, you're talking drafting. You just said, Don't play this game with me now.
Okay.
Don't go picking the injured players, and then you're sapping my healthy. You're sapping my healthy players. You're not. No.
I'm not saying it's all his fault either.
By the way, can Bill Belichick draft receivers?
Hell no.
Okay.
No.
So shit happens, bro. He's found you a starting quarterback. He found you receivers. He's finding defense. He can find defensive backs. He mines defensive backs better than Bitcoin miners mine Bitcoin. He finds players all over the place. The offensive line has not worked out. I cannot argue with that. I have nothing to stand on.
Not all his fault either. You can't have 9 coaches in 8 years. You can't have 9 coaches in 8 years.
And listen, that all may change if Austin Jackson and
Liam
Eichenberg. By the way, the 2 linemen are who?
Robert Hunt and Laramie Tunsil.
Okay, Robert Jones didn't do a decent job.
No. Robert Jones hasn't proven he's an NFL starter. I'm not saying I don't like Robert Jones.
I just asked you, did Robert Jones do a decent job? That's all I'm asking. Did Robert Jones do a decent job?
That wasn't the barometer. Is he a proven, reliable NFL starter?
But here's my point. With all the panic on the offensive line, was Tua running for his life? No. He had plenty of time to pass last year. Did the running backs not average 4.5 yards a carry?
Yes.
Yeah. Did the coach not just admit what I ripped them for throughout the year for not running the ball enough, right?
Yes.
So why is there so much panic when they found a Brandon Shell and a Robert Jones to go along with Hunt, Connor, and Armstead to actually make a serviceable line? They weren't that bad. They weren't as bad. I get it. Eichenberg hasn't made it. I get Jackson hasn't made it. But shit, you went and found 2 pieces that at least filled in and did the job for you serviceably. That's all I'm saying. Serviceably. I'm not telling you great. I'm not telling you all pro, I'm not telling you Pro Bowler or nothing, but they did the job.
They made a meal out of Spam. They did.
Okay. So is it really as bad as people are making it out to be? Maybe not. And here's the other thing. McDaniel comes in with his new coaches. Brother, if he doesn't like you, he's not going to play you. He didn't like Gesicki. Didn't play him. He couldn't do what he wanted, right? He's stuck like you. He's stuck on like you are on the blocking thing, right? So I can't use you. I need a guy that I can sell blocking and passing. Sorry, this is not going to work for me. So he doesn't play him. So wait a minute. So Smith, Applebaum, now the new guy, and McDaniel, all the guys that are kind of in charge of offensive linemen. If they didn't like Eichenberg and Jackson, why the hell are they still here? And then here's the other thing. When I tell them, okay, in the building, Eichenberg didn't show me shit. And then they look at me and say, you don't know what you're talking about. He was turning the corner right before he got injured. What am I supposed to do? They're the O-line experts. And if they really wanted somebody else, they would have gotten rid of these guys because it's not their draft picks. So it can't be that bad. There must be something that they see in Jackson and Eichenberg that is salvageable, and they think they're going to be decent
I'm
players.
Still riding the Liam Eichenberg train. I didn't think he performed as poorly as a lot of people did. Now, Austin Jackson, the body of work, I've seen enough.
It was bad, but he was showing some improvements last year in training camp.
He's Dallas Thomas to me. And when I say Dallas
Thomas, but Dallas Thomas got better after he left us.
Dallas Thomas was out the league after he left Miami. No, you're talking about.
No, it was the other Turner. It was
he's Dallas Thomas. Whereas he's going to be adequate, if not solid, for 45 plays a game, but they're going to be 5 that your quarterback is going to get hurt on.
Well, that's the other guy.
Your drives are going to get killed on.
That's the other guy they just signed. Ogebuhi is kind of like that.
It is what it is, bro. Listen, and for a camp body, a swing tackle. Because I'm not projecting him as a guy competing for the starting spot.
I don't even think he makes the team. I think he's just training camp fodder, to be quite honest. I think the guy that they got was Isaiah Wynn. And by the way, that's the key thing that you mentioned, the youth. He just finished his first contract. They kind of feel that, and And Poop also made a good point that if you really look at it, he has an on and an off year and an on and an off year. And this is supposed to be the on year, actually. This is supposed to be the year he doesn't have injuries because he has injuries every year.
For money. He's playing for money. He's playing for his future at 27. You think he wants to do something else with his life?
No.
Living in St. Petersburg, so it's a quick hop and a jump. You just have a home over here and keep your family over there. Bro, this guy's going to kill it this year if he can stay healthy. And you can say that about anybody.
So he's going to kill it this year, but they're still going to win 9 games.
Okay, who else is going to get hurt?
I'm just saying they have three linemen we all like. They have 3 linemen we all like.
How many wins you get?
Wait a minute, hold on a second. They have 3 linemen we all like. If Wynn's going to kill it, then let's put him at right tackle. And if you haven't given up on Eichenberg, let's put him at left guard. Things aren't so bad. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Okay. I'm not opposed to that. But what you're not factoring in is, okay, how many wins do the Dolphins have if Teron Armstead misses half the season? 8, 9? Maybe.
I don't even want to.
How many wins do they have if they lose Connor Williams to a foot injury at the beginning of the year?
Why you got to mess with my healthy players?
That's the reality.
Why you got to mess with my healthy players? Why you got to bring that voodoo in there?
Okay, you want me to mess with an injured player? Okay, how many wins you have? You lose David
Tell
Long.
me Teron Armstead gets injured. Okay, I get it, but don't mess with my Connor Williams.
Players, bro. You're gonna miss 6 players. You better figure out how good your depth is.
Okay, Robert Hunt may miss painting one of his nails, but he ain't missing games.
Somebody painted their nails the other day, and I was just like, damn, is this still a thing?
Robert Hunt.
No, it's not Hunt. It was a comma. This young generation, they paint their nails. It was an undrafted. It was a rookie. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe Sam Smith. And I was just like, bro, is this like a generational thing? Like,
no, Alice Cooper's been doing it for a while. Don't worry.
This
is not new.
Everybody's got painted nails as guys. I'm like, what's going on here? I know I'm getting old, but damn.
That's not new. They've done that in the past. In the goth movement, plenty of goth guys.
For you to sit down and go get your – I'm not even the most, manliest man, but, like, come on, bro. You going to sit down and get your nails painted? Like,
whatever floats your boat, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's that I don't really. I've seen that forever, so to me, it's not a thing.
It's weird to see football pads, man.
What was really funny, was watching the guy who walks around with the extra nail on his pinky. It's like, bro, are you doing cocaine? Oh no, I just like the look. It's like, really? Because everybody thinks you're using
the long nail.
Yeah, no, but just a long pinky nail. You've seen the guy that has normal nails. But then the pinky nail's just extra long. Right? And you're like, yo, what are you doing, bro?
That's for blow.
Yes, exactly. That's for blow. But I've seen the guy that tells you, no, I just like the look. And like, for what?
And then
picking your nose or whatever?
Yeah, and then it goes like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
he wants to go to the bathroom with you.
What's wrong with you, bro? You like that look? Okay. Well, sure. Knock yourself out. If you want.
It's like a signal to everybody who does blow. Hey, man, we got a long pinky.
By the way, bringing full circle your music point that we were talking about before, we had this conversation, I think it was on Monday or maybe some of it yesterday. You realize no genre of music has been created in this millennium? How screwed up is that? No, you don't even have to try. Don't worry about it.
Jersey house music, you don't consider that a genre of music?
That's house music. House music was created in the 80s.
It's different though. It's just like, I'm not arguing with you, but I don't claim this
heavy metal was created in the 70s. Yeah. There's thrash metal, there's speed metal. It's metal, bro. Whatever. Rap, right. There's gangster rap, there's whatever, bro. It's rap. Rap was rap.
Yeah, I think we're.
But there's no genre like grunge was in the 90s. It was created in the 90s.
Neo soul?
Huh?
Neo soul?
What is neo soul?
It's what my wife listens to all the time. It's very Erykah Badu-ish.
Okay. Erykah Badu-ish is from a while back.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's step. It's funny.
But that's stuff that's been around forever, bro.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff goes back to the 60s and the 70s when all kinds of R&B bands play the same kind of music. You know what I'm saying? That hasn't changed much. There's been really no new genre.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
R&B, bluegrass, rock, punk, disco, electronic, reggaeton, whatever. All of that was, decades ago. That was all created. Not one new, unless you want bad rap, mumble rap through
that's still rap, according to you.
Right, but it's still rap, but mumble rap with what is that, the auto tune?
No, you can't throw auto tunes in there. That's not mumble rap. This generation of rappers is
it's mediocre, but it's still rap. But there's no new genre of music. How amazing is that?
I think that they're more. To counter your point, and I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. I think they're more subsets in different genres.
Spin-offs.
Like neo soul, mumble rap. Like I don't recognize the music. I was trying to find something to listen to yesterday. I was just like, took me like 40 minutes, and I was just like, screw it. Let me listen to some Bob Marley. Like it's
it's. Well, by the way, we haven't created another one of those.
Another Bob Marley?
Yeah, like there hasn't been like this. Like Peter Tosh got close, but like we'll get other rock stars, we'll get other R&B stars, we'll get other country stars, but we have never gotten that other reggae monster. After Bob, like there's nobody that comes close to him.
They had a movement. They had a movement for a little while when I was probably about 15 years ago. Reggae was like the number. No, there is a new genre of music. Afrobeats. Afrobeats is like probably the biggest genre of music in the world right now. Afrobeats.
Okay.
You hear it on the radio. It's hip hop radio. There are so many Thames. Afrobeats is absolutely a new genre. It's super popular right now. I can go to Afrobeats parties in South Florida right now. It's absolutely taken over. Afrobeats at Urban Station. It's
the musical genre. Afrobeats originated in the 60s and the 70s as a blend of traditional Yoruba music with jazz, West African music, high life Fuji, and funk. Afrobeat was created by a Nigerian legend, Fela Kuti, who was achieving acclaim for his musical talent and involvement in post-colonial African politics. Afrobeats 1970, Jazz History Tree.
Just got popular though.
Okay, maybe they revived it, but
I can't even name you. Yeah, I can't even name
Afrobeats 1970, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's like reggae, saying reggae. When did reggae start? I'm sure Bob Marley didn't start reggae.
60s is when reggae started.
Yeah. He popularized it.
Yeah.
But
it's like surf music started in the 60s. It's just like if you think about it, nothing's gone on new in these last 2 decades, which is freaking crazy.
But how we consume, how we do everything is different. So
no, but at least, like in the 90s, they did come up with grunge. They were able to come up with grunge. So that was like a new form of music, but it just hasn't happened. It's funny, man.
When did house music?
80s, late 80s, house music, I want to say. Here we go.
Yeah, that's taken off. That's not even the house music I remember from the 80s. Because I remember I liked house music when I was a kid. Yeah. That house music is absolutely the number one music in the world right now.
Yeah, 1980s. House style of high-tempo electronic dance originated in Chicago in the early 80s and spread internationally. Mm-hmm. I remember house music really not early 80s. I remember it more in the second half of the 80s.
Yeah, and I like Jersey house music, which is a different subset of house music.
Right.
For people who I can't even remember the kid's name, but he's wanna rock. Like our other artists are making songs. Like Drake just made a house album. Not that
really?
Yeah, Drake made a house album.
The kid's got skills, so maybe it sounds good actually. Eros has got something for you. Omar needs to check out Black Coffee if he likes house music and Afro beats.
Black Coffee, okay.
Okay. Yeah, Black Coffee. There you go.
Alrighty.
Dubstep is an offshoot of electronic. It's really not that different from 80s electronic. Okay. Dubstep.
I remember something Jamaican dubstep. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm. Woo. But yeah, music is just it's not good. But I just want more performers down here in South Florida.
I'm with you there. All right, you going with Heat or Celtics? What do you think?
My heart says Heat, but my mind says Celtics. Come on, bro.
Yeah. My heart is with the Heat, of course, but I Celtics in 7. I think the boys will take them to the brink, but I gotta give the Celtics. I gotta give Celtics. They're the more talented team, but Miami has a chance.
I mean, but the Heat are a better coach team, and I think maybe Eric Spoelstra. That's the one thing I'll put some respect on. Eric Spoelstra has really found ways to maximize their matchups and the challenges that they have.
Stud, total stud.
And who knows? Maybe he learned something from last year's loss to Boston that their coach can't undo because he is a rookie head coach.
Is Eric Spoelstra behind Shula and Riley? Is he number 3 now in the history of South Florida sports? How about
Does
that
he have
question?
More championships than Riley?
He has 2. Riley has 1. Oh no, not overall. No, not even close.
Yeah, no.
But that other stuff didn't matter in South Florida. I'm talking about South Florida. Okay, because he's got more winning than even Riley now with the championships in South Florida.
He's gonna have. I mean, for him to be above Riley, he's gonna have to win another one.
Probably, but that's why I say, is he number 3 by like who? Larinaga? Do we put maybe we? Oh, you know what? We may have to put the Wizard, Ron Frazier from the Canes, because he put college baseball on the map. He won a couple of national titles.
Nobody's thinking about Ron Frazier.
Well, you don't, but I do. But I get it because it's college baseball and it doesn't get the respect. But that has nothing to do with the job you did, and the fact that he made college baseball go national and get on TV and all those things. He started to generate revenue from something that couldn't generate revenue ever in college baseball. So he was actually a wizard. It was a very apropos name because of what he did on the diamond and off the diamond. So Frazier would be that guy that I would put right there.
Over Eric Spoelstra? That man won championships.
Well,
this is a basketball town now.
So did Frazier, bro. He won championships too. He won, I believe, 3. I want to say, or 2. So
That's fine.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his work there at Sports Illustrated. Oh, as always, great conversation. We'll catch up next week, my friend. Have a great week.
All right, you too, bro.
Thank you, my man. There you go, Omar Kelly. And you got to call my guy Brett. I'm sorry. You got to call my guy Sean Williams over at Essential Moving Experts. I'm thinking Canes wear. Because, the colors. Anyway, as you can see, Dolphins colors. And what I love about Essential Moving Experts, folks, they can move your stuff from one city to another, from one state to another, across the entire country. They're stationed in Daytona, but they work the entire country. They've got trucks everywhere, so they can take care of you. But this is actually the really cool feature. So if you're moving your home, you're moving your office, but you got to get out of one place because the lease is up, you sold, whatever, but the next place isn't ready yet for another week or 2 weeks or a month. Up to a month, Essential Moving Experts will store your goods. That's on the house. It's part of their service. Now, if you need it for 2 or 3 months, they can work out something for you and, and do something affordable for you. And that's what they're all about, man. Call them 386-213-4054. Ask for my guy, Sean. He'll take care of you. Big Dolphins fan. So if you want to talk a little Dolphins with him, this guy comes down to all the games. He's got season tickets, and he comes to the games from Daytona. It's a hell of a fan, man, and a great supporter of our platform. So if you need a moving service for your home or business, please call the great people at Essential Moving Experts.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Omar Kelly. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services, or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms and keep up with your favorite NFL team.
Right, all right. Thank you all out there, as always, for tuning in and supporting us. Don't forget, folks, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, great way to, of course, showcase your business, market your brand, and get great customers, new customers, all over the world, all over the country, all over the state. We reach all levels, man. And that's the beauty and the blessing that we have here. But you can reach our business line at 786-754-4664. That's our business line, 786-754-4664, if your business wants to join the platform. Let's see. Dubstep was created by the two-step. There you go. Big O, are you a fan of Cake? I'm trying to remember any of their songs. Probably, maybe. I don't know. I might know one or two. I'm not sure. Kind of get the feeling I do. I'm not remembering it right now. Yes, sir.
There were a couple super chats.
Oh, I'm sorry. Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, how many wins does Buffalo have without Diggs or Allen? Exactly. You can play that game too with everybody else. But I just, for me, it just doesn't make any sense that Omar would say 9 wins again when, dude, you just added Vic Fangio. That alone should count for one more win. You had a Jalen Ramsey, and X is healthy. Your secondary is going to be on fire this year. How can you not be? You added David Long. You added another speed guy in the backfield. I'm sorry. I don't know how you can think that the Dolphins, unless they have all those stupid injuries again. And, thanks to some of you that said Mackenzie Alexander, 6 injuries alone in the secondary. That's why when he says, oh, if you miss 6 guys, well, there was 6 alone in the secondary. That's stupid. It's just so unfair what happened last year to the Dolphins. Holt, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O, welcome to Raleigh. A 2005 Fort Myers, Florida transplant. Go Fins in 2023. Prediction 12-5 and AFC East champs. Don't dream, it's over. Yeah, he knows I'm going to Crowded House tonight. Nice job by you, sir. Albuquerque. Alex says, saw The Cure last night here in Albuquerque. Awesome show, my brother. You're in for a treat. So you saw him last night, my man. I have not checked out the set list from last night to see what 29, 30 songs they played. Let me see. Let's see. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Did somebody put in the music? You did. 29 songs. Alone, Pictures of You, A Night Like This, Love Song, and Nothing Is Forever. It Can Never Be the Same, A Fragile Thing, Cold, Burn at Night, The Hanging Garden, Push. I love Push. Shake Dog Shake, excellent song. From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea, End Song, I Can Never Say Goodbye, 1,000 Hours, Charlotte sometimes, Play for Today, A Forest, Lullaby, 6 Different Ways, The Walk, Friday I'm in Love, Let's Go to Bed. Ooh, I don't think they've done Let's Go to Bed in the tour yet. I think last night was the first time they did that one. Close to Me, In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, Boys Don't Cry. 29 songs. Can't wait for next month. I'll get to see them on back-to-back nights. So basically 60 songs. That's going to be awesome. Awesome. God, can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. The fixes. And this is, I think this is Smith's last tour. Big tour. I don't think he's going to do another tour again. I think he'll play some festivals, maybe, things like that. But this is kind of last hurrah for Robert Smith. And thank you all out there. Thank you, Holt and Knight, super chats. It's very nice of you. Let's see. Actually, there's been a music genre in the millennium. It's called crap. Oh, man. It was ska before it was reggae that started to emphasize it. Yep, exactly. Ska is a mixture of reggae, rock, and punk. That's what that is. In fact, my buddy went to the punk rock, I don't know if it's the Punk Hall of Fame or something, Punk Rock Hall of Fame or whatever in Vegas. They just built one. And he sent me a bunch of pictures of, they've got the Interrupters in there, which, you know, anybody that follows the show heavily, you know, I'm a monster Interrupters fan. I love the Interrupters. They are fantastic. Excellent band. Honestly, I would be just happy if a band just played music without 472 computers and auto-tune. Yeah, I most of my bands that I watch don't have any auto-tunes and they don't have a bunch of computers going. Frankie Fresco chiming in with another super chat. He says, Big O TNT announced a new wrestling show, Collision, for Saturday for AEW. So now we have Dynamite Wednesday and Collision Saturday. And you know, Frankie, when sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. All right. So let's give you a little news here. Something that I'm sure Sean Stanley and Frankie Fresco, who had our Square Circle Digest show here on the platform, they know this, but you all out there may not know this. World Wrestling Entertainment and Endeavor's UFC announced last month that they would merge later this year. Now we know the name of the combined company. The new operation will be called TKO Group Holdings. A spokesman for Endeavor, something here, got a pop-up, for Endeavor confirmed Tuesday, as previously announced, it will trade on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker TKO. The name is a reference, of course, to the professional fighting term technical knockout. With the deal, Endeavor and WWE hope to create a sports entertainment giant valued at over $20 billion. Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel will also be the CEO of TKO Group, and Vince McMahon, WWE's controlling shareholder and longtime boss, will serve as executive chairman of the new company. Endeavor will own 51% stake, while WWE shareholders will get the remaining 49%. Emmanuel said he intends to run the same playbook with WWE that Endeavor did with UFC, whose revenue surged 20% from 21 to 22. A track record of success with media rights. WWE has a similar scale to UFC. In the universe of assets at this scale, the opportunity is rare and finite. Okay? So there you go. So TKO. I'm wondering, Sean, was that inspired by Dana White? Because that's what he does to his wife. He TKOs her. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. We are in Raleigh, North Carolina, by the way. I'm out here for the Crowded House concert tonight. I'll be flying back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'll be landing in Miami at 8, and we'll be at Hialeah Park at 3 in the afternoon. So we'll be back in South Florida tomorrow morning, man. We'll get up tomorrow like at, 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, and get over to the airport. Good thing is we're really close to the airport, man. God, that is fantastic. By the way, Squeeze and the Psychedelic Furs have put together a tour. It starts September 8th in New York City. I would love to go to that show on September 8th in Radio City Music Hall. That would be cool. The one I really would love to go, because it's on my bucket list, is September 10th. I've never seen Squeeze. I've seen the Psychedelic Furs 100 times, and I love seeing the Psychedelic Furs. I see them when they come to the Culture Room or Revolution Live every other year. They're here, and I will always see them. So I don't mind watching them as the opener. That's fantastic. But I've never seen Squeeze. I would like to see Squeeze, and that would be really cool. But September 10th, they're at Asbury Park at the Stone Pony Summer Stage. So I haven't been. I visited the Stone Pony a couple of years ago with my buddy, and I know that they have the bar inside, but I know they have the stage outside, and that's probably where they're doing it. But I'm dying to go to the Stone Pony. That's got to be off, Springsteen stuff and all that, knowing the history of all that place. I am dying to see a concert at the Stone Pony. I visited, I bought a t-shirt there, took pictures of the Stone Pony and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't get to see a show there. So I need to see a show at the Stone Pony. But the problem is the Dolphins play the Chargers that same day, so I can't do that one. So if I don't go September 8th to New York City and Radio City Music Hall, which, last time I went to Radio City Music Hall, Jake Long was drafted. I was there for that draft and interviewed Jake Long and all that stuff that day, and that was actually cool and that was fun. But if not, they're at the Greek Theater October 13th in LA. They're in Vegas at the Pearl Theater on the 14th of October. And on the 15th, the Dolphins and the Panthers play. So I might be able to get the 13th at the Greek Theater in LA. But right now, September 8th, New York City, Radio City Music Hall might be my best chance if I want to see Squeeze. Because I know there's not much left, man. But that is one that, man, if you want to go check it out, if you love Squeeze like I do, that would be, you want to get a little black coffee in bed. You're looking to pull, muscles from the shell, that kind of stuff. Well, then, you may want to look up the dates, because there's all kinds of dates there. No South Florida dates, because it's like what we talked about with Omar, which is crazy. Okay. I see Robert Williams getting interviewed, but I thought maybe there would be some breaking news or something, but nothing there. Anyway, 1980, on this date in music history, drummer Peter Criss left Kiss after Gene Simmons' then girlfriend, Diana Ross, told him he was too talented to be in the band. Two things. One, Gene Simmons is banging Diana Ross. Gene, you bastard. Okay. And then, 2, Diana Ross turns to him and says, yeah, I can see he left. He's actually a real musician. You guys aren't. I'm joking. I'm having some fun. But, it's interesting. In 2006, on this date, Paul McCartney announced that he and his wife, Heather Mills, had given up the fight to save their marriage and that after 4 years together, they were going their separate ways, as Journey would say. In 83, on this date, the #1 song in the country was David Bowie's Let's Dance. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. In 2003, Stone Temple Pilots singer, rest in peace, Scott Weiland, was arrested in LA after police stopped him for driving without headlights and found cocaine and heroin in his car. Shocker. He was released on $10,000 bail. This is kind of what reminds you of famous people. You have everything in the world. The Lord blessed you with a voice that is amazing. You have a great band. You got hit songs, and here you are doing cocaine and heroin, and now you're dead, and just ridiculous, bro. In 1990, on this date, Nirvana played the last date of their North American tour in Boise, Idaho. The gig was the final one. Drummer Chad Channing played with the group. After playing on Bleach, Chad chose to leave the band due to creative differences. He was replaced by Dave Grohl in September of 1990. And the rest is history. And as I've said many times, if he survives, if Cobain doesn't kill himself, do we ever find out about Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters? Is the question. Right? That would be the one. Anyway. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Anything else that we haven't talked about? Pat McAfee, you saw officially going to ESPN. I'm sure they offered him a lot of money to leave FanDuel to go to ESPN. I would never have left FanDuel. But I appreciate the way he does his show. Now, I saw in the press release, well, we won't be able to use the word F anymore as much or whatever. It's going to be a lot more than that. It's going to become much more vanilla, less edgy, less of an opinion on certain things because the politics will play into it. See, you're at FanDuel. You're not tied to any specific team or league, and you have to be nice to them and all that. He now is going to have to deal with a bunch of BS. And you know what? I'm also... Besides that there's going to be a lot of color taken off that show. You know what? Apparently AJ Hawk is still going to be on the show. I wonder if if he's going to still be smoking that cigar every time he talks. Okay, because he's not always smoking it, but there are times where he's toking a cigar, and are they going to allow him to do that in public now? Because you're working for the mouse. You know what I mean? So I wish him the best. Obviously, they must have, it's a 6-figure deal, and he's probably making hand over fist. So God bless him that he's going to make a lot of money. I personally would have never left. I mean, I'm the guy that got out of the corporate world, and I want to stay out of the corporate world. So I'm really happy with what I'm doing. But I get it. His thing is at a completely other level, and he's making lots of money. But can't you make a lot of or enough money with FanDuel as it is? Isn't FanDuel paying you enough money? Why not try to work it out with FanDuel and make it even better, get more money out of it, and make it a bigger show? ESPN, man, you're just going to deal with a lot of politics, a lot of bullshit. But you sold out. You want the cash, His show will change. It will not be nearly as good. I just don't believe it will be. It can't be. The mouse will screw it up. He can say all he wants. He can talk tough and all that, but that show is not going to be the same. What else do we have going on? Nashville and Inter Miami today. In Nashville, by the way. So we'll see. They're in 3rd place in the conference. Miami is in 6th place. Nashville is favored in the money line at minus 165. You can get Miami at plus 425, minus half a goal. Nashville is minus 170, plus half a goal. Miami is plus 125. If you want a goal and a half, it's minus 255. So they're expecting a tight game in Vegas. So there you go. What do we got on the chat board here? Any interesting questions, comments? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Let's see. Hateful Steve chiming in on Venmo. Thank you, Hateful Steve. As always, appreciate it. Can't really read what Hateful Steve put on there because he's Hateful Steve. So, but we love him anyways, even though. Jasmine at 49. What a buying zone. I've been scooping up a bunch of Jasmine. Bitcoin is just under 27,000, 26,900. Down 0.69, just under 1%. All right, what do we got here? Can't blame a man for getting more money, but he sure had something special going on with his show. Yeah, I love his show, the way he had it. I know it's going to change drastically now. Big O, besides Tua, who's your favorite Dolphins player? Wow. Javon Holland, definitely one of my favorite Dolphins players. Love how he handles himself on and off the field. Wilkins, another guy I like a lot. Jalen Phillips, guy I got a lot of respect for. I think he's going to have a monster season. I think he goes 10-plus sacks this year. Okay? I think this is his breakout year, dude. I really feel that. Rob Hunt's grown on me a lot. Tyreek Hill, I really like his vibe. I like that he's very kid-friendly, too. I think that's very important. Waddle, God, Waddle looks like a fantastic young man, besides being a great player and a superb talent. But he just looks like he had really good upbringing. Maybe I'm wrong and he does something stupid down the line. I don't think so. I don't think he's got any Ja Moran in him. I just see like a really good young man there, bro. Really like Jalen Waddle. That is another guy that's really grown on me. So, Big O, my mother listens to this techno music called Kraftwerk. You're joking, right? You're like having fun, right? Is that what you're doing? Your mom is listening to the godfathers of electronic music. The reason why electronic music is on the planet is the geniuses of Kraftwerk. Karen says, I think Waddle's my favorite Dolphin just because of the adorable TD dance. He doesn't care that it looks goofy and uncool. He marches to the beat of his own drum. Plus, he's just a great young man. McAfee's fans are upset by the move. Well, they'll be more upset once they watch the show. He'll lose viewership from that because you can't get the same edge, bro. You're on ESPN. You're done. Big O, can you explain why the Heat fans want Ja Wicks? Well, dude, it's just a Miami homer stupid thing that fans, a bunch of you do this stupid shit. Every player that becomes available, every malcontent that becomes available, You want him here in Miami because Pat Riley and company will straighten him out and all that. And then the problem with all of that is that who says he's available? You know what I mean? At this point, he's not available. So why even talk about it? But people are, they're silly. Fans are silly, man. A lot of you out there, you just, you don't have any kind of common sense whatsoever. You don't really look at things. You're fans. You're fanatical. So common sense rarely goes in with some of the things that some of you bring up. That's why idiot fans are talking about John Morant to Miami, which is not even a discussion. But it makes them feel better because, they want to go get Kevin Durant and they want to go get every star that's available because every star that's available is coming here. And that's just not the case. And plus, they have nothing to trade. That's the other thing. That's the part that I think some of you out there, those people like that, when they start talking about whatever, Dame Lillard becomes available. There'll be 8 teams that will have way better packages. Just like that stupid trade that they put up for Embiid, where it's Bam and a first rounder. Like, how stupid do you think the Sixers are that they would take Bam and a first rounder for Embiid? You've got to be a moron. I got to see Squeeze, such good musicians. Nice, Chad. A young guy like you seeing Squeeze, that's impressive. Ray says Squeeze are great in concert. I've seen them only on YouTube Live, and they are great. Dolphin Don says, my hometown, welcome to the neighborhood. Smithfield's barbecue and chicken is great. Make sure you use the hot sauce and dip the hush puppies in butter. Do they deliver? Because I don't have a car. So maybe that's what I'll have for lunch. Smith's, let me write it down because then I'll forget it. Okay. Why not? A little barbecue. A little barbecue cat. I want some barbecue mouse. Big O, try Ice Mountain Water. It's great taste and no aftertaste. Okay. Ice Mountain Water. All right. If I run into it, I'll check it out. Wow, you've seen Squeeze 5 times, Ray? You bastard. Endeavor owns IMG Academy as well. They do? Holy shit. Damn. Let's see. Probably compromise and have a shirt with a photo printed bare arms, but it wouldn't be his arms. McAfee better get ready to talk about the Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers, Celtics, Patriots, and Giants every day for the rest of his life. Yeah. Yeah, it'll ruin it, man. Can't blame a man for getting money. I agree. Rod R, Tua or Burrow? Why is that even a question? I should block you just for putting something stupid up. Big O, my mother listens. Oh, no, I read that one already. I think, let's see, expect McAfee to never curse or to hype up the Jets, Knicks, Lakers, and Cowboys. Oh, let's see. Miami isn't exactly the greatest place to avoid temptations and trouble with South Beach and all. Now, Fargo, North Dakota is a different story to corral someone with off-the-field issues. Dolphin Don says, hey, Raleigh fans, I'm off 6 Forks. Is that close to 6 Flags? Good luck if somebody breaks into your house to get your weapon out of your safe and unlocking your trigger in time to defend yourself or family. What do you want me to do, bro? If I have a kid in the house, I have to do the responsible thing. You know what I mean? I have 2 badass dogs roaming the floor of my house. Okay, first of all, I have an alarm system. Okay, I have also a Louisville bat next to me. All right. I do, seriously. So I have a gun and I have a bat. And by the way, I've timed it. I can do it within seconds because I've practiced it several times. Safe is right next to me. So by the time my dogs, I have two little dogs that are, by the time you get to the sidewalk of my house, my two little dogs are already barking. Then I have two big ass dogs that are then starting to bark really loud. That's before the alarm goes off. Then if you actually break into the house, then you've got to get through my dogs and to the second floor. You want to try it, motherfucker? You want to try it, tough guy? Who is it? Steve Rupert, you want to try it? Why don't you come over to my house? Why don't you reach out to me? I'll give you my address. I want to challenge you to break into my house before I shoot your ass dead. So if you think you're going to get to the second floor where I'm at through the alarm and the dogs before I put 10 caps in your ass, I'd like to see you try it, Steve. You know what? I'd enjoy for it. Because if my dogs aren't tearing your ass up, I'm going to tear your ass up. You got anything, Big Mouth? This isn't ESPN, dude. I don't need to hold back. And I don't need to play PC. In fact, I don't play PC. So, Steve, you want to be a tough guy? Come on, baby. Love people that just talk shit. That's what you can do. You guys are good at talking shit on a chat board. You know what I'm saying? Really good at talking shit on a chat board. I want to see how tough you are in person. That's a whole different ballgame. I want to see how fast you get to me safe. And I'll get fast enough, Steve. I'll get fast enough to put your ass 6 feet under. Anytime you want to try, baby. Let's go. In fact, I'll put away the gun. I'll just kick your ass when you come through my door. After my dogs get a hold of you. We'll do that. Anyway, so you'll get the business on this one. You'll always get the business here. Anyway, what else do we got going on in the world of sports? I don't see anything breaking. Don't see anything at all on the football front. Nothing basketball-wise. I don't see anything changing the world on the Heat for tonight. That's it. I do like the Heat +8 tonight. All right. I am taking the Heat +8 tonight. I will tell you that. Yeah. I think that's a really good bet, actually. I think the Heat are going to keep it close in this one. I hope they do. I hope they win. Would be nice. If they can split in Boston, that's how you can win this series and open up the door. You go down 2-0, it's, then Boston, all they have to do is try to split in Miami, and then they've got you buried. So you've got to try to split. Let's hope they can do it actually tonight. We got the Panthers tomorrow night. All right, we are out of here. We thank Matt Verderam, Omar Kelly, Michelle Kaufman. Appreciate all of them as always. We thank everybody that called in, tuned in, and all of that. And we await Steve Rupert so we can bust his ass in half. Anyway, we thank Sean Stanley, who has mastered this program and this platform every single day. We'll see you all tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock at Hialeah Park. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a good one.